Gotta say, so this is something that really annoys me when I hit the button. Is people that say button.
Oh, that's the dropped T's from the young millennials.
Yeah, what is up with that?
And it drives me around the. It's not just that. It's there's important. A ton of words.
Yeah, it's important. You know, it's like, what are you doing?
Or library.
Oh. Yeah, I just, people enunciate. It's,
Yeah.
My goodness.
There's only a few words that you can legitimately choose to drop the T from, like often, as opposed to often.
Right.
But man, yes, there's a ton of words.
Button, important.
Important.
Yeah. Oh,
Putin. They actually, if you listen, they drop the T in Putin.
Yeah. Well, you say
it's
Putin.
Crazy.
You say Putin for Putin.
No. I say Putin. And the inflection's different, but if you
say
if you
the food,
wait,
say the food, and then say the evil leader of Russia.
The food is Putin, and the leader is Putin.
It sounds like you just said the same word twice with a slightly different, focus on it.
Yes, my unilingual American friend.
So how you doing, Danny?
Doing well. Thank you for asking.
Well, you've been quiet this whole time.
Because I'm working on something. I didn't expect you to hit the button without at least giving me a warning.
No, it's the button.
The button.
Nemo touched the butt.
No, he touched the butt.
Yeah.
So anyway, who else here today?
We got Anthony, Aravic, Captain Phantom Nerd.
Nice to see you.
Stanley,
awesome.
Mike Richards, Ohio's in the house. Scrolling. Aravic? Did I say Aravic already?
I don't know, but if you didn't,
okay, Aravic is here. Ben One Eye. Bradley.
Ben, I gotta say, by the way, Ben says, "Where's the pick?" I'm not sure what he's talking about.
I think he means pie.
Oh,
the pie. That's probably what he means.
Yeah,
because you said it's Pie Day.
But the funny thing, Ben, I this is horrible, but every time I see your username, I think about Benny Hill, and the reason I think about Benny Hill is there was this stupid, how Benny Hill, like, he does like the same joke over and over and over in every episode, but it's just funny because it's Benny Hill. But one of the things that they did on a fairly regular basis was they had like these fake little movie trailers, usually about Westerns, and they'd show a cat walking away from the camera, and they'd say, and Jinx the cat as old One Eye.
Well, hey,
because you would see the cat's butt.
I just put a new layer in there. I want you to look at it behind the scenes, and if you're cool with it, I'd like to start the show off kind of.
Oh yeah, that one thing you were talking about.
Yeah, okay. And until
what's it called?
It's it kind of buries the lead if I tell you what it's called. It's in the media files. It's text with a starry background.
Okay.
I don't know if you can look at it in.
It's a media file.
Mike, I need you to look at it first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, okay, yeah, I see it.
How are you seeing
it? You got to go like you're adding an entire new layer,
right?
And then go into media files. It's right in the top left.
Okay, there we go. Let's see.
Yeah, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Sorry.
It's Samatha.
Yeah, we can definitely. Here, let's put this up right now. Okay. All right. So, guys, because this is important stuff. So we want to make sure that people are aware. Look, if truly out there, if you're struggling with any kind of addiction, alcoholism, etc., Danny wanted to make it extraordinarily painful or extraordinarily obvious that you guys know there is help available. And this is the number to call. Danny, who is this number?
This is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. It's a national hotline. There are also local resources. that you can.
But these guys would get
utilize.
you hooked up with the local people if you need.
Correct,
to, right?
correct. But you can also dial 988 from your cell phone.
Really?
Yes, if you dial 988, not only is it that's the suicide and crisis lifeline, but they do also help with mental health and substance abuse and alcoholism. But this one on the screen here, this is more for alcoholism and other types of substance abuse. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is I know you guys had fun at my expense being gone with the whole what would make Danny cry thing and all that fun stuff. But the reason I was gone, just to come clean to everybody, is I had to go to a rehab facility. So a couple weeks ago, I was diagnosed with liver disease. And as you guys have seen on this show, I have had a drinking problem for a few years. And it's for whatever reason, much like God had to come down and smack me in the face and give me a heart attack to lose weight, he decided he had to come smack me in the face and give me stage 1 liver disease to make me quit drinking. So I spent a week in an amazing facility called Seven Hills Hospital here in Las Vegas. And as of today, I'm 11 days sober.
Awesome.
Thank you. I got out Sunday evening. Since then, I've been to 4 AA meetings. I plan on going to one every day for at least 90 days. They call it the 90-day challenge. Mm-hmm. And I go to IOP, which is intensive outpatient rehab, three times a week, 3 hours a day. I'll be doing that for 90 days. And this is all voluntary, by the way. This isn't
like nobody dragged you with handcuffs or anything.
Yeah, no, this is all because I don't want to die. I have a 15-year-old daughter. I'd like to live long enough to walk down the aisle. And gosh darn it, people seem to like me for some reason. I don't get what it is. So at least soberly. So I've been doing that today. As a matter of fact, not only did I have the IOP, I had a doctor's appointment, and then I had the abuse psychiatry appointment, which I'll be going to every 2 weeks. And tonight at 10, I'm going to another AA meeting. So there is help out there. It's a serious thing. And not everybody needs it. Some people, they can drink. They can have one drink and be fine. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm the kind of person, when I start drinking, I can't stop. And I've learned that it's got to do with some kind of chemical thing. They've got me on some medication that kind of help my brain not crave the alcohol, which has been working because I actually met up with a friend yesterday at a bar. I had a Diet Coke. We hung out, we talked, and there's no trigger, no temptation, no nothing. So I'm feeling pretty good so far.
But you should still not go to the bars if you can.
I agree. And I told him that. I was like, maybe we can start meeting at the coffee shop or something, and he was cool with that because he didn't know, because I haven't, this is the first time I'm being very public about this. He didn't know. He actually had already ordered me a drink, and I had to explain to him, I can't drink it, buddy. You're going to have to do that one. And he kind of broke all the news. So I just wanted to put this out there. This is why I was gone for a week. And I expect everybody here who cares, you can hold me to account, but I don't want to die. So I'm done with that.
When we certainly don't want you to die. So, not except that here's the problem. So, and this is absolute proof that Danny has completely fried his brain. There's not too many brain cells left because he gets out of rehab and goes and sees Dune 2 and hates it.
God, it was terrible. Oh my God. Okay. You want to talk about Dune first?
We'll talk about, because it's a good thing that Jason is in between us, because I would punch you if I could. All right.
Okay, you got a Dune graphic, or are we going to just keep this?
No, we'll keep that. We'll keep the alcoholism thing up for a little bit because
okay.
You hated the movie. That proves that you've had a problem.
I guess. Hey, at least I didn't give it a heinous on critic list. I wanted to, but I was like,
you gave it a bogus. You only gave it a bogus. You gave it a 20%. That's a 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. This is how upset I am. So this is a 2 hour and 45, 50-minute movie.
Yes.
45 minutes into this movie, I was so bored. I literally was about to walk out and try to get my money back. But then I was like, you know what? There's 2 hours left. Jason and Nerdrotic and the Critical Drinker and Dave. All these people love this movie. It's got to get better. No, there was one good scene, and that's the fight scene at the end with Fade. And it wasn't long enough to make up for the other 2 hours and 35 minutes I sat there bored out of my effing mind. Although it was beautiful. It was beautiful to look at. I will give it that. And that's why I gave it a bogus and not a heinous.
But here's my problem with all that. You saw part 1. What did you expect?
I watched the Nerdrotic review. I watched the Critical Drinker review. I watched the Dave.
And did
Call
any
review.
of them say? Did any of them say it's wall to wall? Did anybody say it's balls to the wall action?
No. I didn't need that, but dude, the pacing in this movie. It's a miracle I didn't fall asleep, and I took my mom's advice. I didn't. I got a little drink and a teeny tiny small popcorn. I sipped on that thing throughout the thing, so I wouldn't have to pee. Hindsight being 2020, I could have gone balls to the walls, got the large combo, and I wouldn't have minded leaving to piss because the movie was just terrible. It was just. In fact, if I'd have left to pee, I probably would have mustered up the courage to go to the box office and say, this movie's terrible, I want my money back.
And Ben One Eye, in fairness, he says, why did you only watch Phantom Menace reviews? Hey, he listened to me, and I'm definitely not Phantom Menace.
Yeah, no, it was you that put it over the edge.
I love this movie. I think, and I think part of the problem that I have with you is that this was very, like, if you watch Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2 together, it feels like one movie. I came close to doing that because the wife and I watched Dune Part 1 the night before we went to go see Dune Part 2.
But you didn't like Dune Part 1 though, did you, Danny?
I was holding. Okay, this is what I told Michael, and this is true. And there's a review out there. I can't remember if it was this channel or Salty Nerds or whatever.
It was not here. I know.
Then it must have been on Salty Nerds. I said I'm going to. This is half of a movie. I cannot grade half of a movie. I'm going to wait until I can see part 2 because it was literally half a movie. It was like, so I was willing to give it.
And I found that
frustrating.
I found that frustrating as well. But when I watched part 2, I'm like, oh man, they nailed it. But if you watch part 1, which is 2 hours and like 10 minutes, it's a long movie itself.
Yeah.
So if you watch part 1, or no, it's like 2:25 maybe.
But I'm checking, but it's long.
It's long. Yeah.
But you watch part 1, and you're like, okay, the Atreides are kicked out. Paul and his mom are with the Fremen, and then cut, and it's like, and then part 2 begins, and it's like, not only does it just feel like the same movie, because a lot of the times when you do a sequel like this, it feels like it's a different movie, even though it shouldn't.
2 hours 35.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And this, so together they're well over 5 hours.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm telling you, and I'm starting to listen to Dune, the book on tape, and
so I've read, all of Herbert's Dune books. I was about to say all of the Dune books, but I haven't read them all because his son wrote like 500 books after his dad passed. And I read them decades ago, and I don't know if you saw, I gave them all to Vader. Actually, live on their show, I delivered the books. They didn't let me in for whatever reason, because this was before rehab, so I was probably drunk. Who knows? But they got the books and they brought them up and they showed them on the show. So I don't know if Vader will read them. He said he would, but we all know Vader's not a reader. Speaking of reading, whilst in rehab, I read this book here.
Stanley did not. It was with you. It looks like.
Yeah. Part 2 was just.
And I didn't think that the fetus was silly. In fact, and that's closer to the book, by the way.
Yeah.
And I thought that, it's a very good pro-life message because they show that fetuses are conscious entities.
That's funny. So in your review on Criticalist,
I didn't mention it. No.
You said there was no. I don't know if you read my review or not.
Yes.
You said there was no political. I put slightly right because this did really seem like a kind of hidden pro-life message. It really did.
I didn't feel that way because I was going to say that same thing until I talked to my wife about it. because first of all, if you have a uterus, your opinion counts much more.
Oh yeah.
And so, but although she had a hysterectomy, so she technically doesn't have a uterus. But
I get what you're saying.
She had one at one point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so talking to her about it, I said, well, I felt like it was a cool pro-life message. She said, no, not at all. I said, why not? Because the only reason the baby was conscious was because mom drank the water.
The water of life, yes. Okay.
And so it was a mutant. It wasn't a normal baby. So she said, you could extrapolate that hey, it's kind of suggesting that the unborn is alive. But you could also, if you were a pro-choicer, you could say, well, the water of life gave the baby consciousness.
So it kind of canceled out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do think that, and what I put in my review, I don't know if you saw that, I posted.
I did because Blaine tagged me in the comments.
Okay. But in my review, I said, I said in the politics part that there are politics throughout the movie, but the politics are about the great houses trying to gain power. It's not a left-right thing. So you don't have like the heart. It's funny because
you could actually consider it like a weird metaphor for uniparty.
Yeah, but the Harkonnens, like it would be so easy if you're Hollywood to make the Harkonnens into conservatives because they're the bad guys. And
they even called the Southern Fremens fundamentalists, so that would be kind of your right leaning. And I guess the northern ones are your left leaning. You know what I mean?
Some people say that Frank Herbert used this as a pot shot at organized religions.
Yeah.
Because,
because on the one hand, and again, this is one of those things. On the one hand, you say, well, the Southerners on Arrakis are fundamentalists, and those fundamentalists end up saving the day, right? And so, there you go. But if you look at the interesting and by the way, they hit it hard in part 2, but in the original Dune movie by David Lynch, they don't touch on this at all. Is the Bene Gesserit sisters and how they're manipulating people, and they are purposely and knowingly using religion to manipulate people and control people and get certain events to happen. Now, yes, the Bizak, Batarak, whatever it's called.
Arabic, we're talking about Dune 2 first, then we'll get to Star Trek 6.
Yes.
Sorry.
It is a genuine Messiah character. But it was also...
Quizart Satarak. I was sitting here trying to remember what it was.
So the Quizart Satarak is a real thing, and Paul is really it. But it's also that the people that are running the religion were doing all sorts of horrible things to bring him about.
To say nothing of the fact that, at least in the David Lynch version of the retelling of the story, the Reverend Mother was... oh, man... She was not a good person.
You want to talk about, because I'm only in the beginnings of the Dune book, but I've gotten through the part where Paul Atreides does the test where he sticks his hand in the box. And the Reverend Mother in the book is a totally different character than the Reverend Mother in both movies, because she is not this evil crow. She's more like a kind-hearted grandma. And the only difference is, yes, she is the Reverend Mother. Yes, she tells Paul he has to stick his hand in the box, but she's not being mean about it, and she's not, she's actually. And Paul asks questions, she gives answers, as opposed to you are just about, you're an abomination. She's actually kind of rooting for Paul, and so it's a very different character in the book than the movie, and I think so. Hollywood did kind of, I think, try to over accentuate how the Bene Gesserit, thank you, faction is manipulating things, and they are. But I think that they pushed it a little harder than it was in the book.
I don't know. The only thing I liked about the movie was Austin Butler. He was phenomenal.
Oh, let me tell you about Austin Butler, my friend. I watched a couple. So first of all, he hosted Saturday Night Live in December. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that. I'll have to check that out.
Well, and he also and let me tell you, his opening monologue will make you cry like a little girl.
Oh, is it about his mother and how
He talks about his mother.
Yeah.
And he talks about how he and his mother used to watch Saturday Night Live together when he was a kid, and how he would always like practice making funny faces and silly voices with mom, especially after watching Saturday Night Live. And now here he is hosting Saturday Night Live. His mom has passed away, but he says, but every time you hear me do a silly voice or make a funny face, it's for mom.
Oh, man.
You see?
and yeah. And Mike is saying it like a cold read, and Danny's like, damn you.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can see him tearing up when he's saying it.
I bet, man. Yeah, no. I've seen him in interviews talk about his mom, where he has to pause for a minute.
And so he's the only actor I've seen that's almost as much of a mama's boy as you.
Yeah.
And I'm Ben. When I am not that far in the book, but the Atreides are just leaving to go to Arrakis in the book. So yeah, and that's the thing. Yes, Stan. He was not in part 1 at all.
Yeah,
he was only in part 2. He's basically taking on the same role that Sting played in the David Lynch film.
I will kill him.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all Sting would say. You know?
Yeah.
But Sting, it's kind of funny because if you compare the two, Sting was kind of this over the top Joker type of character.
All I see is another Atreides I want to kill.
But man, Butler's performance was scary.
Dude, it was like he gets when he gets that knife.
When he kills people,
and he just to test the knife, he just kills that chick, slits her throat. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he is hardcore.
He's the only good thing in the movie, man. He really is.
See, and you only gave it a 20. Just for him, you should bump that up to a 50.
Well, no. Yeah. If you move it to whatever it is, like 21 or whatever, like bring it right up to, in the slider when it changes it to the next
right
bar.
Before it changes it. Yeah, so that would be 29. That would be 29, I believe. Yeah, something like that. Or 39, either 29 or 39.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I think it deserves a higher rating because he was so good.
He was good.
The entire cast brought their A game. I know that a couple of people were ragging on Zendaya, however you say her name. I thought she was fine. I don't think the movie was woke. If it was, spoiler alert, the way Paul Atreides would have ended up with a different chick at the end if it was woke.
Yeah, it wasn't woke. I mean, look, they gave her a way bigger role than she had in the books. Like she is not some badass fighter like she was in.
But she wasn't in this. I mean, everybody was acting like she was the main character in this movie. She wasn't.
No, but she also wasn't as defined. Like, okay. Now, you know what? I don't want to. You're reading the books. I'll let you.
No. It's okay. I know the basic story. It's not like I'm going to.
No. As far as she goes, like she doesn't. None of that.
I know she's not a fighter in the book.
Right. Well, there's that. But the whole subplot where she's like, she loves Paul, but she doesn't want him to be the white savior or whatever, and she's kind of against him, and you know what I mean, that whole thing they have.
She's a non-believer.
None of that's in the book.
Right.
Like she's actually a believer in the book. She's got a much smaller role.
And she was a believer in the David Lynch film as well.
Yeah,
Although she had but her role is not that big a deal, and I think that and now I don't know what happens in the later books, but the way they kind of set it up is that she's going to be doing something big on Dune while Paul is off running the universe. But we'll see what happens. So I loved it. Danny hated it. It's the bottom line. If I think Danny and Stanley, sorry, buddy, you guys are just stupid.
Look, man, we're supposed to be able to agree to disagree because art is subjective. Okay, and subjectively, I thought this was a what do they call those bags of turds they put in the front of your doorstep, light on fire? There's a name for those.
It's called a Danny bag.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's the flaming poo instead of the flaming mo. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what this movie was to me. It was just, I really do wish I could get, because I took your advice. And I saw it in XD, Dolby, all
the things,
whatever.
Oh, it's awesome.
$30 freaking dollars I spent to watch this movie.
Wow, tickets are
well. That includes the small drink and small popcorn.
Okay,
So,
okay.
but it was $30 total. I was. Anyway.
Well, I thought it was awesome. And
I'm happy for you. I'm glad. And apparently lots of other people did too, because it's killing at the box office. What's Aravic talking about here? It was Starship launch in real life?
Oh, yeah. That was now you want to. We can temporarily pivot to real world news.
Okay.
They did the Starship third full stack launch this morning.
Who's that?
Who's they?
SpaceX.
Okay.
Oh, Elon. Okay.
So this is. Yeah, I just want to make sure because is this Tesla or Amazon?
And although the very, very final moments that they were hoping to achieve didn't happen, the vast majority of everything went off gangbusters, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And it included the fact that they now have much more reliable versions of their Starlink interface systems on the two ship components. Mm-hmm. So they were able to actually stream almost the entire thing from external and internal cameras.
That's cool. I'll have to check that out.
It is something.
I don't know if you guys have seen this TV show called Louder Milk.
No.
It's on I think it's on Netflix. I watched it some other way. My dad, when I got out of rehab, my dad was like, "You need to watch this show. I think you'd really like it." Like, okay.
That's got Buddy that played Nixon in
it's got dude from Office Space. It's the main character. And
Ron
anyways,
Livingston.
There's this funny part where this chick says something to him. He's like, "Yeah, it's seared in my brain, kind of like 9/11 and the shuttle explosion." And I was like, I don't know why, but you're talking about this. Everything went great. It made me think of that scene from the show. But
that's funny.
Yeah. But you got to be a certain. Hey, you got a super. No, you got a subscriber. Subscriber.
So this is
the little max headroom there.
Right. Anyway. But this is the footage of the launch here.
Hey, we got another subscriber. Look at that. Thank you guys for subscribing.
So this actually. Oh, look at the clouds. That's awesome. I love that.
I don't see it. What are you showing? It's not on the screen. Hey, look at this. You got another subscriber.
You know what? Media share, screen share. I'm so sorry. Let me bump this up. You should be able to see it now.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been watching this footage. I thought you guys could see it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and she just gives. One of the other things that they did in the second launch. Well, this is coming right up, and this is important to what's about to happen. So in the second launch, they do this hot separation where the main booster continues to actually operate, and then they separate, and then the upper stage or the next stage fires off.
Right. And
that's something that's just not done, especially with vehicles this large. And when they did it in the last one, there was an issue, a design issue in the main booster that caused it to go off like spectacular kaboom. Right. And chances are good that explosion actually caused issues with the upper stage because even though they got plenty of good info from the test, the upper stage did not completely achieve all of its hopeful goals. But this time, what you're going to see happen here is you're going to see the vehicle split, and then the lower stage, which is huge. The booster stage for this rocket assembly is bigger than most rockets, period.
Right. It looks like it's starting to happen there.
Yeah, it's going to come up to a point here, and then there'll just be a big flare around, just above the...
there we go.
I really just want to see...
Well, that's the shutdown.
I really just want to see
separation.
If it gets high up enough to where we get a shot that'll shut up all these flat earthers.
You know what
absolutely
I mean?
I want to see curvature.
Hold on. I was going to say, You can tell. Look at this. It's shot with a wide-angle lens.
There we go. There we go.
No.
F all the flat earthers right here.
No, you see, you can tell it's a wide.
Suck it, AJ Styles.
It's hold on. It's a wide. Guy? It's a Darren.
Darren, suck it, Darren. Yeah.
But no, it's obviously a wide-angle lens.
Look at that.
And this is all CG anyway.
Oh, shut up. Shut your mouth. That's awesome. No, finally. This might be the first real actual.
If
real,
you
know.
Yeah, see, Stan Lee's right. It's a fisheye lens.
Oh, whatever. Whatever.
If you
my
fast
son
forward,
shoots his skateboarding with a fisheye lens. I know what it looks like. This ain't that.
If you have one up in the air.
If you fast forward, there's a few other things to watch in this that are kind of interesting, but if you fast forward to,
I don't know that I can. And it's
okay. There's a spot where they're going to show
Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Isn't that just amazing?
Yeah, that's
okay. That's it for that. Okay, so if you go to the full length and you go to T plus 45 minutes, the upper
Coke.
the upper stage is actually starting its re-entry, and you can watch the plasma form around the spaceship as it starts to come in through the atmosphere.
Oh, wow.
And it's so cool. And because they've got 4K cameras feeding the data back through Starlink.
That was some really clear footage.
It was beautiful.
I have to say, obviously some of the best CGI I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
It's the best movie. We're living the best movie there is, guys, man. We're living it right now.
Yeah.
You're killing me. Hey, before we get into Star Trek, though, I did want to give a shout out, and it pains me to do this because I texted him and he left me on red, but that's okay. That's okay. But our good friend of the show, friend of the channel, Matthew Kadish, this is his first book in the Earthman Jack series, Earthman Jack versus the Ghost Planet. This thing is thick as a dick. Look at this. It's 666 pages, huge book. I read this whole book in 3 days. It was that good. And I'm not like that kind of reader. I could not stop reading it. Yeah. There are parts in this book.
Usually Danny doesn't like books that don't have pop-ups in them.
or pictures like comics. Yeah. But no, this book was so good. As I'm reading it, I could clearly see certain things in my mind's eye. And like I had to pause so I could, because I couldn't read fast enough to keep the action going in my brain. It was so good. It's so well written. It's an easy read. If you like sci-fi, I highly recommend this book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get them like they have used options as cheap as $5. You can get it brand new. I think it's.
Don't tell people to look.
19.
If you're trying to help out Kadish,
I'm not trying to help it. He doesn't need the help. Trust me, he don't need the help.
Right. Well,
okay?
I don't understand why
this
you're
is
plugging
a good
Kadish anyway.
Because this is if it was written by anybody. Forget it was written by Matthew Kadish. This is a good book. I highly recommend.
Because Kadish is evil.
Good book. He did leave me on. He left me on red, though. I will say that because I said, hey man, I know it's been like 9 years since you gave me the book. I finally read it. I loved it.
Wait, that book came out 9 years ago?
No, this book came out 10 years ago. He gave me this copy 9 years ago.
Why that? So you're plugging
It's good. It took me forever to finally read it. Oh, that was funny. Oh, I thought you were making a joke.
If you're struggling,
yeah. Danny, I think your 11 days is over now. And look at this. Look at this. This is an insult. But you should be on critic list so you can actually
look at this. Scroll down. Look, this is the only review I've ever done that has thumbs down. Only one.
That's funny.
And now it has
now it has 4. Thank you.
Well, okay, just to make it feel not so bad, there is on the IMDb ratings, the user ratings, there are several thousand people that actually gave it a 1.
See, I'm not alone.
No, there was 1.1% of all current ratings for a total of 2.3 thousand came in as a 1.
So my Dune review has 6 ups, no downs.
I got 6 ups and 4 downs, I think.
Right.
Thanks to you.
And I just posted mine today.
Yeah. Look, you're blowing the movie. Of course, it's going to get some traction. I'm surprised I got as many
you know
likes
what?
as I
My
did.
review is really brief and very simple. In fact, my review is mostly cautionary, saying that if you didn't like part 1, don't watch this movie.
I appreciate that.
And I stand by that because
I just wish you would have said that sooner.
Danny's like,
well, I didn't know you didn't like part 1, and I kind of thought that was a given.
The jury was out on part 1.
Look,
is the thing.
if you watch Best of Both Worlds part 1 and you thought it was absolute garbage and you didn't care about Star Trek, would you actually watch part 2 3 months later?
That's not a good analogy because I did like Dune. Obviously, I read the books. I like the David Lynch movies.
You just said you didn't like it.
No. He likes Dune, the property, not necessarily the first movie.
So you like the David Lynch film, which leaves out
and the Frank Herbert books. Frank Herbert books.
Yes, but David Lynch's film, which leaves out whole swaths of the story and then adds in that they have sonic super guns that make no sense. That's not in the books.
I know.
And so they completely leave out most of the political stuff, which is like the main part of the story.
But what's funny is I actually very much enjoyed the first half of this new Denis Villeneuve pairing. Yeah, and yet I still really love the David Lynch, the extended version in particular.
Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the David Lynch film.
Super chat.
And Planet X, thank you. Wow, what the heck happened?
You've got some chatception going on there.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
I think you've got too many web sources.
I'd rather watch Zardoz. Oh, you horrible person.
Man, you got all manner of web sources. Too many of them. You got like 4 of them running.
Yeah, well,
let's get rid of. Yeah, there we go.
Now we're down to 1. All right. First of all, Zardoz is great to watch if you're high. Have you ever seen Zardoz?
Never even heard of it.
Don't even know what it is.
It's a Sean Connery film where he runs around wearing a thong, fighting a floating Easter Island head.
Although the name of the movie is close enough to medicine that I was expecting a series of side effects to be listed.
Yeah, so taking Zardoz can cause, explosive diarrhea. Zardoz is
5.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
It is bad. It is a bad movie.
And just by the way, just because of how much time I've
420 out here on the West Coast for all you stoners.
Yeah, but Planet X, thank you so much for the $2. I do truly appreciate that. And so don't want to let that slide.
I was going to say, so the amount of time I've been going into IMDb over the last few months, actually looking at scores and comparing them to other things.
Look at this.
Basically,
she never does this. Do you see this?
That's the new kitty.
She never does this.
Oh. If you get into the 5s range on IMDb out of 10, that's actually really, really, really bad. Yeah, because I find IMDb doesn't deliberately skew high, but they tend to not have a lot of really bad scores at the low end. So yeah, if it's, I do trailer. He's like wearing a loin skin.
Yeah. I told you it's horrible.
Yeah.
So Michael, I want to address Michael's comment. It says the David Lynch doing was so uneven, some great acting along some really bad acting and some really corny overacting. All that I agree 100% with you. However, I disagree with you on the audible thoughts were weird on film, even though they were from the book. I liked the audible thoughts. And in fact, I think that the new Dune would benefit from having that.
We talked about, it was Salty Nerd. I remember now because I remember Kadish and I talking about that because he agrees with you. Yeah, because and it's
okay. Then I'll take back some of the things I said about Kadish.
I know a lot of people don't like voiceover or whatever it's called, but so like in this, for example, this book. I'm reading this book, there's a lot of internal dialogue or what they're thinking. The narrator of the book tells you what they're, and you don't get that in movies unless they do something like that.
It's kind of funny because Michael is dead on when he said most of the thought lines in the Dune, the David Lynch Dune film, are straight out of the book. Like when the Bene Gesserit mother says, "Is he the one?" In the book, that's exactly what she was thinking. And so I like that. But and I think that doing a literal, granted, it would be probably 4 parts instead of 2, but doing a literal interpretation of Dune in this particular case would be really cool. I know that, that's why some people say it's unfilmable, because it would have to be minimum of about 10 hours long.
Well, you'd basically be doing Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just for the first book,
Yeah. And at this point, I don't know that there's
Here's
a budget available and people willing to watch that much stuff.
Right.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, here's another unpopular opinion, so you'll know.
Yes, you hated Lord of the Rings.
Something wrong with me. I wasn't a Lord of the Rings fan either. Yeah.
Oh no, you hurt. Look at him; he's melting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Lord of the Rings extended edition is a annual requirement in this house.
My uncle's the same way. He'll spend like 12 hours watching all 3 of the extended cut movies.
You see, I would do that. I love Lord of the Rings, and I'm not a fan of the books. I don't give a crap about the books. I don't give a crap about Tolkien's world building.
See, I don't know. Where's my mom? So I thanks to my mom, we read The Hobbit together, and then I got into the books. Here's my problem. That first movie. I might be hell. I can't. First, I don't know.
Fellowship of the Ring.
There's so much walking. That movie should have been an hour and a half. It didn't need to be 3 hours. They spend 2 hours just walking around bitching and complaining, way more talking about food.
Okay, we're clearly not going to talk about Star Wars, but now you got me going. There was way more that went on in that movie. You just stop it.
Yeah. Okay.
And by the way, you notice most of the walking scenes were actually character development scenes, where they would get into one character's head and kind of say, okay, so we know that Pippin and Took they're going to eat.
So yes, we did pull a bait and switch on all you fine people watching us right now, all 20 of you. I don't think we're actually going to talk about Undiscovered Country today.
We're going to talk about Undiscovered Country in a minute. But, here's the problem with Undiscovered Country. We're not going to disagree. We all loved it.
Yeah. In fact, I wasn't the only. If you go to supportsalty.com, you should have it up by now, right?
I think so. If not, I'll make sure it's up by the end of the day.
If you go to supportsalty.com and watch our watch along, I wasn't the only one quoting lines this time. This guy way over there, Michael, was doing it too.
I fully admit it. There are some great lines in that movie.
Yeah.
And it's, but it's the second best Star Trek of all Star Trek, in my opinion. And it's not a distant second. It's a very close second. And so I don't think that, and most people consider Star Trek 6 one of the best.
Oh yeah, I know. 6 is it's a close second. I think I gave Khan 100, and I gave this one like either a 95 or a 98 on Criticalist. Oh, actually, I haven't done this one on Criticalist. I always like to wait till after we do the video, so I can show
so we put a link to it and everything.
Yeah.
I think that this one, this is gonna get a 98. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm probably gonna give it a good 90. Yeah. So I'm a little stingier than you with the really high ranking points, but
I sat and I looked at a list of all the Star Trek movies, and I looked at this, and I looked at Khan, I looked at this, and I looked at Khan. I'm like, I actually re-gauged the entire list when I was trying it was like, man, it's so good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you can see if we.
And I love how you replayed, don't wait for the translation, answer me now, like
answer
4 times.
Me now! Yes. Because I knew you had to get that out of your system. I mean, come on.
You said it too.
Yes, because it is a great line. But you can see here on Criticalist, I have my ultimate Star Trek list, which only has one like. I'm really disappointed by that.
I didn't even know you had this list. Yeah.
Yes. It's my personal ranking of all of Trek. You can see Discovery is at the very end there.
Which, by the way, I'm going to say it because it deserves to be said, but because thank the heavens, Brian and Shane watched it so we don't have to.
What's that?
Stupid Paramount sent them the frickin' pressers.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, and apparently it's a gong show extraordinaire.
Well, then we're going to have some fun with it. Just try.
Only when it's over. Only when it's over.
We have to watch it as it comes out because that has to be topical. I know you hate it. I get that.
No,
but we'll come up with some kind of palate cleanser we can watch afterwards. So because we can watch a whole movie, so we can watch an episode of Discovery and then an episode of something good, and then something good to watch it.
Well, there are production meeting reasons. We'll talk about later.
We'll talk about that later.
But yeah, no, like it is an absolute.
By the way, so you see, Strange New Worlds ranked at number 6.
I see this. How are you going to put like Strange New Worlds so far? I mean, you even put the 2009 Star Trek ahead of TNG. You're just a hater, bro. TNG
I'm not
is
a hater.
So good.
I just don't think. I think TNG is so overrated.
He's just an anti-Berman era.
No, I'm not, because if you look up here,
he's got Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space
Enterprise.
Nine. Okay, all right.
And Enterprise is high ranking as well. So, my top 10.
However, I could actually say that those two being where they are is more a case of I say RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. That's not the name I'm looking for. The Battlestar guy,
Ronald D. Moore.
Ronald D. Moore. Yeah.
Well, Ronald D. Moore, though, okay, now he was responsible for some of the great stuff on DS9, but he had nothing to do with Enterprise or the motion picture. So, and but notice my top 10 actually has stuff from every era of Trek.
I'm noticing that, yeah.
So it's not. I'm trying to be fair about this. I liked, and even with that though, the new era, the best it could hit was spot number 6. Because, but however,
Anthony, you enjoyed it because you are intelligent, and Michael has brain damage. It's all good.
Oh, I have brain damage, Mister. I just came out of recovery.
Well, see, the funny thing is it's a race to the bottom. You two, you're both technically brain damaged.
Well, that is true.
Yeah,
I'm just Canadian, but you guys are brain damaged.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go. I literally have to go to the hospital every year for them to scan my brain.
She's never been this lovey-dovey. This is she dying?
You just wait. No, you just wait. She's got poison on her claws or something.
Oh, this is so. You guys have never seen her like this, right? This is a
no. Yeah. Normally, Claus comes by and decides to massacre your chest.
He's passed out. He's that blur, like right there. He's passed out.
On the couch. Yeah.
So. Anyway, so check out my Star Trek list. I think each one, if you click on them or something, it tells you, a little like one sentence description. So if I bring that back up,
thoughts on this, the one that started it all. So did you write that? The one that started it all?
That's all. Okay. I wrote that. So
simply the best film in the franchise. Oh, cool.
Yeah, for Star Trek 2.
No, that's neat for lists.
True greatness, but suffers a bit with age. Why does Undiscovered Country suffer with age?
Because it's about the fall of the Berlin Wall, and you know it. And so
but kids today wouldn't know it.
I was going to say it's the fall of the Berlin Wall, and us old codgers know it.
Right. Yeah, but for me, it feels like a film that is tied directly to when it was made, because it is. However, the others are all timeless as far as I'm concerned. Like Star Trek 2, it doesn't feel like a 1980s movie. It just feels like a Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
Star Trek 3, underrated gem of a film. True Star Trek to the core.
Yeah. So that's cool. I didn't know you could.
All 20. I'm not going to spoil them all because I want you to go to Critic List and check out my list and give it a thumbs up if you agree.
I just gave you a thumbs up on it.
All right.
I'll have to do an Aliens list and just be like, there are only 2 movies. and then I'll do another one for Indiana Jones. There are only 3 movies.
Here's what I would do is like Alien. When you're ranking them, like I'd probably put. Honestly, Alien and Aliens, it's tough to decide which is better because they're such different movies. I'd probably go Alien number 1, and then put, hey, it's a great origin for the xenomorphs. Alien 2, hey, it's awesome, the action, blah, blah, blah. And then every other one just put this is not an alien film. This is not an alien film.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben One Eye, I just put in both the chats the link because we can't keep going over his stuff. We got to get to this movie review.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
My phone, that was you liking. I got to turn off alerts from Critic List.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so Star Trek 6, obviously very high in my rankings, number 3, after Star Trek 2 and the original series. What are your thoughts on the 6th entry of the Star Trek franchise as far as film? We'll start with Mr. Jason.
For murder. So let me just get the year. It was 1991 for this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And we start out with their
Yeah, 1991. I'm just trying to remember, just so I don't overstate how I felt about it. I guess for me, as far as an event, because of course in the 80s and especially in the 90s, going to the movies was absolutely an event.
Yes.
Because we didn't have the television and the DVD and Blu-ray and
well, you had to take like a dog sled, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Go uphill in the snow both ways. And
we were at the Haynes Mall when I remember very clearly seeing this movie because I was in middle school and we were entire family were shopping at Haynes Mall in Winston-Salem. And when we got to the part of the mall with the movie theater, and we're all Star Trek fans, and it just so happened that the movie was about to start. And I just remember, "Ooh, Dad, can we watch it, please, 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 please?" And he caved, and we watched it.
And
it was so good.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, even though theaters everywhere weren't to the level of quality that even a quote unquote low end theater is today, they were far and away beyond what you could have at home. And this was this was awesome. It's probably the most memorable movie for me at the theater in all the 90s. And I went to the movies a lot in the 90s. And man, this movie for me is just, it was a quintessential Star Trek movie in the sense that, yes, Khan can be argued as a better story and perhaps then also a better movie. But this ticked so many boxes for, modern movie in the 90s kind of thing. It was just, and it happened to be an awesome Star Trek story all at the same time.
Yeah,
it was just so good.
I really like this movie. I took my wife on, well, she was my girlfriend at the time, on a date, and we saw this movie together. And it was funny because here's my thing about this.
I saw it in middle school, and you were taking your future wife on a date. Oh my God, you are old.
Yeah.
It's funny. Sometimes it's not that big a difference, and sometimes 9 years or whatever is like, oh crap.
Yes, we were actually living together at this point.
Oh, you were living in sin. How dare you?
Neither one of us were Christians at the time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, in fact, I was a outspoken atheist at this point.
Oh, fascinating.
Which is why I like arguing with atheists.
Okay.
But anyway, when we saw this movie, we went to this brand new theater in the Coin Tower in downtown Portland, and we come out of the movie and there's a news crew there doing random interviews with people because this was the Thursday night thing, and this is before.
Okay.
This is when Thursday night openings were a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
So they were interviewing people as they came out. And so they interviewed me along with some other people. Then we watched the news, and they actually used some of the footage with me. And I was so angry because it was the only negative comment I made.
Oh no!
They cut that in isolation.
Hate that.
And
you
they
should have known better.
So they made it look like I was the one guy that didn't like the movie. And even though I loved it, because what I said was something to the effect of, hey, really great story, it's got nice send-off for the original cast. However, some of the marketing is a little misleading because people will go into this thinking it's an action movie, and it's not an action movie, it's a whodunit, right? And when they cut it together, they made it look like I was like, well, it's not an action movie. So they're
and that's
like,
all they took. I hate when they do that.
The news
Jay
reporter's
Manis,
like,
what's up, bro? Thanks for joining.
Hey,
He's
Jay.
one of my wrestling homies.
Yeah, so it's like, they show these people going, oh my God, it was so awesome. Oh, great, it was so great. Oh, Captain Kirk, and then they get to me. Well, and they say, well, not everybody was so enthusiastic about the film. Well, it's not an action movie. And I'm like,
Those bastards. It's probably because you were the only one dumb enough to say, because you know how the news does that.
Because I actually put some substance into what I said.
Yeah, but they always do that. They always clip things and take stuff out of context to fit their narrative. You're probably the only one that said anything negative.
Which is actually funny because the trailer people are as bad for actually doing that in the sense that they take everything out of context. And that actually is what drove Michael's comment that then got twisted out of context.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's like
some
when
weird
were talking
kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we were talking about just before you showed up, Danny. Me and Jason, we watched the Crow trailer.
Bradley, get on it, Bradley. Whoa! There's a Crow trailer with the weirdo from It.
Yes. And
I got to look this up.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so here's the problem.
Okay.
The movie doesn't look that bad, but if you watch the trailer, you will have seen everything.
It's the movie in the trailer.
I'm not going to watch the movie, so I don't care.
So if you don't
There's
care,
only one Crow, and his name is Brandon Lee.
Right. I just wanted to make sure you understood that because they show stuff in the trailer that they absolutely should not show. And
now, is this supposed to be a reboot or in the same? Because I know they made other Crow movies, but I never watched.
No, this is a total reboot. It looks like it's the same story, although the girlfriend has a much nicer butt, and they're not afraid of showing it a lot.
I gotta say something really fast.
Yeah,
I've got the original Undiscovered Country trailer playing, and I just had it playing at a lower volume. Yeah. However, there's a mistakenly bad thing that the trailer people did in it.
Well, no, they tried to make it look like Kirk dies.
No. When they shoot the Klingon
don't they
cruiser?
use the wrong sound, right?
Yeah, they used the Star Wars blaster sound.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because the sound design wasn't done.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hold up.
Who's that?
That's me. Hold up.
Oh, you got slap all over the place, dude.
Oh, wow. She's fine.
I told you, they show her butt a lot. I don't know if it's an R-rated film. I think we're going to see a lot of her, at least until she's killed.
Until she's killed. Yeah. So this is straight up a reboot. I'll watch this later. It's a few minutes. I don't. It's 3 minutes.
Yeah. It's long. It's unfortunately so long. It's clear that they accidentally just did the entire movie, and it's actually
they kill her with a plastic bag. That's shitty.
It's even worse that they did the trailer the way they did because we already know the story both from the original comics and from the original movie.
Yeah,
and then they just gave us basically all the highlights from what they just did.
Because every major point of the story is there. They fall in love. They're happy together. The girl gets murdered right in front of him. Then he gets murdered, and then he comes back from the dead thanks to crows, and he gets all the bad guys because now he's invincible. And they even show the final fight.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because there's a decent cast in the movie.
It doesn't look half bad, but it is full of spoilers to me.
It's probably going to be
just like, well, everybody's seen the movie anyway in the 90s.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's as bad as in the Terminator trailers. You know how every Terminator trailer it's spoilers.
Oh, they completely Genesis bombed because of that trailer where they revealed Connor.
Look, by the way, this is also the bad guy. It's like, whoops.
Yeah, same thing as like in Terminator 2 when the trailer showed that Arnold was going to be a good guy.
Dude.
And that ruined the first 20 minutes of the film.
When you guys were picking on me about Terminator 2, I saw that movie in the theater. My Aunt Linda took me. I was only 12, and it was a rated R movie. But I bawled like a baby.
Oh, when he went in the suit?
When he did
that's why I showed that picture.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether
that scene got me.
You'd watched it as an adult or younger, so I wasn't. I couldn't take I wasn't sure. So.
Now I don't know if I would cry. I haven't seen it in several years, but I remember vividly seeing it in the movie theater, and my Aunt Linda was like, "It's okay, baby, it's okay," doing that to me.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie is just such a good movie for the era.
No, it was. Speaking of crying, I don't know why, but when I saw this in the theater, I wasn't like sobbing, but I was, because I didn't want to because my brother we're Irish twins. He's barely younger than me. And we fought terribly all the time. And any chance for him to pick on me, he took. So I didn't want to like cry, but I did. I had like a lone tear come down the side of my cheek when they start doing the swelling of the music and their signatures.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man, that was so. And it's cool because I saw an interview with the Russo brothers. They said that the reason they did that at the end of Endgame, because they did the same thing with the actors.
Yeah, I figured that's where they lifted it from.
They said it was because of this movie, and I thought that was really cool. So,
which, by the way, just because this will make Michael laugh and cry out of both frustration and I don't know, something. But anyway.
You're trying to ruin me, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So Stanley, he's not a wuss, but he is gay.
So
for the record, not only does Danny like had sex with 2 trannies, but yes, his gay brother used to pick on him.
So signatures at the end of this movie, and every movie after this, Michael hates. Signatures at the end of the Endgame. And everything after, I won't say everything technically, but everything after Endgame is terrible.
Everything except for Spider-Man, but that's technically Sony Marvel. So,
actually, no, Spider-Man and Guardians. I know you didn't like the animal stuff with Guardians, but Guardians was a solid movie.
Guardians was good. I've given it. I watched it again recently, and I saw it from a different because my buddy kind of put it in perspective. He shared some tweet from PETA with me where they were like, this is a good thing because it'll make you feel for the animals. And I was like, oh,
well, that's kind of what I was telling you. But you wouldn't listen.
And I understood. And I remember we talked about this before, so we don't have to talk about it a lot. You can go through the back catalog, folks. Yeah. When I did finally get to see it, I completely understand why it set you off the first time you saw it, but at the same time, I think it would have been missing. Oh, here we go.
Super chat.
Oh, we get a super chat. Awesome. Thank you so much. Lancer with $5 says 6 is the best, easily. I wish we had more stories with the Enterprise A. I'm happy it survived, but I also like what Shatner did with his novel.
What do you do? What do you do with it?
Shatner wrote a novel where Kirk comes back from the Nexus, so that he's not really dead.
Yeah.
But I have not read it. I will say this. I wish, I get that they didn't, but I really would have liked to have seen a Sulu series after this movie.
You're the only one.
Yeah.
Sulu, really?
6 from Galactica.
Oh my.
Yeah. You didn't like Sulu?
I like Sulu. I don't like George Takei. And the older I get, the more difficult it is to separate the two.
Look, here's the problem. Like, George Takei, I have mixed feelings on. Like, we've talked about the fact that he stood up against when they made New Sulu gay in his honor, and he said that was wrong. Yeah. But overall, yeah, George Takei is way out there. He's a left-wing nut, right? But I don't care. That's every actor.
Well, actually, what's funny is the fact
every actor.
It's 90%.
Well, it's 90% of the vocal ones.
Yeah.
However, I will say this, and this is the most important point when it comes to Takei. The fact that he stood up for the originality of his character shows that the guy is actually dedicated to the craft of what he's doing as opposed to some kind of ideological bent.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I
think that would have it's like one of those after the fact things, because obviously it happened many years after Undiscovered Country. But I think if they had have actually pursued a series with the Sulu character and maybe a couple others,
Christian Slater could have been his.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you know what?
It could have worked out as an interesting.
Right. You're right. I was looking at this through the lens of knowing what I know now. Back then, I probably would have been all about it. I probably would have been all aboard. Yeah.
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 But not only, but the thing you got to stop and consider. Okay, forgetting about George Takei, just look at the potential for a series, because on the Excelsior, Sulu and Janice are the only legacy characters.
Yeah, everybody else is extras.
So you can completely reinvent the cast of the Excelsior for your series, and have a really good time with it. But instead, we got the stuff that we got.
Well, actually, you know what we could say, of all things to be really frustrated about? We got Voyager or we got Enterprise, whichever one you want to pick on the most.
Right, because those came after this.
But those, because we were already into
Deep
DS9.
Space Nine. No,
it was already on.
No, it wasn't. DS9 came out in this came out in 91. DS9 came out in 92 or 93.
It was already well into the development and production stages, though. So that's why I say DS9 was on the cards or on the table. It was going to happen.
Right, but if they did a Sulu series instead of Voyager,
yes, if they had done the prequel,
Deep Space Nine didn't
been
come out until 93. Yeah.
Right.
I just looked it up.
But I'm just saying, because we were deep into next gen at this point. That's why they included Worf.
Yeah.
And
that's why, as we point out, supportsalty.com, there are several scenes where they are like the transporter room, some of engineering. There's a conference room,
that are reuses of the
that are just next gen sets. You know what I mean? They totally are.
I will tell you, scenes where it's just what.
The most jarring thing to me is to see Scotty standing there smiling in front of the TNG warp core. Oh, yeah. that pisses me off. It's like, come on, you could have spent a few $1,000s to make a TOS looking warp core for that one shot.
Well, it is actually quite funny that they didn't just pull the core up and out and put in the one from TMP.
Right. And that was horrible.
They could have left everything else. That would have been fine. But just drop in the TMP core and then.
At least, because that scene looked like, so they put a scene from Next Gen in here for some reason.
Although, just to drive Mike insane, they did put the TMP core into the Voyager.
Yes, I know! Which should have had that core, but it should have been in an Excelsior class with Captain Sulu.
Oh, well. Anyway. We at least have this movie and the rest of the good parts.
Yes. So Spock is now, by the way, and this is another thing. I know Gene Roddenberry hated it, but I love it. Is if you look at Admiral, Cartwright, yeah. You look at Admiral Cartwright in this shot here, and you see that he's got all his military-style ribbons on underneath his Starfleet insignia.
Yeah.
And I really dig that, because that is exactly how Class A uniform should look. And I know that Roddenberry hated it because it emphasizes the military aspects of Starfleet, but Starfleet is the military, and the dialogue in this scene confirms that, because the one captain says, "Are we talking about mothballing the Starfleet?" as soon as they say that there's no longer going to be hostilities with Klingons.
Yeah. And then they bring up the fact they still have their science duties. Yeah,
they said, "I'm sure our science and exploration duties will be unaffected." And so that's why that scene is why we get the pussyfoot Starfleet that we have in TNG, and which is fine canonically, because this scene sets that up beautifully. And I wonder if Nicholas Meyer wrote this scene with
whole golden age foolishness, like we call it that off screen, of course.
Yeah, but basically this scene was written as a way to set up Starfleet to become what it became. And yes, Planet X, I agree with you 100%. These uniforms are so freaking awesome. And again, I like Admiral Cartwright's military medals on there as well. I think that all the senior officers, in fact, I would have liked to have seen Kirk and Spock having a couple of medals. Ooh, who's got a dog attacking them?
That's my dog. Well, not mine, her dog.
And why are you ASMR chewing?
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, just look at this shot. Even though, Nimoy is 150 years old in this scene or something.
Yeah, however many Vulcan years. Yeah,
they're definitely showing their age, but the uniforms look so good. You know?
The Crimson uniforms they really only came up with a better uniform within Star Trek storytelling.
I don't think they ever have.
There was some of the uniforms they started coming out with towards the end of DS9 and into Voyager. Uniforms. They were good, but I don't think there was anything that would actually beat this. I just think that we didn't get anything quite as good as this until that point. Like the stupid jumper was just stupid.
Oh, the jumpers were horrible. Almost as bad. I mean, granted, they weren't as bad as the jumpsuits that we got in TMP. You know,
the straddle jumpsuit. Yeah. Oh no! There's no surprises for anybody.
Know his religion.
Yeah. Count the change in the back pocket.
Yeah. So it's not that bad, but the jumpsuits. It was like when we got to Deep Space Nine and then Voyager, the uniforms looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But I still think these are on next level.
Oh yeah, there's like other than a couple of the still kind of janitor guys and the dudes with the flashlights, the vast majority of the uniforms are really good in this.
Well, we should say the officer uniforms.
Oh, in particular, yeah,
because that's what we're looking at here.
Yeah,
is officer, because the ones that are different color,
Well, I don't mind the engineering outfits,
right? Well,
the ones that even Scotty will wear,
right? Because that's supposed to be protective.
Yeah, but that's why I say like there's the couple like the guy that looks like he's the vacuum dude,
right? And don't forget, I can't see the chat, just so you know. So if anybody says anything important, I need to.
Yeah, Stanley makes the reference though that applies to the first movie, of course, Space Pajamas.
Yeah, those were horrible.
It was kind of like the first couple seasons of TNG, also.
Yeah. Just with color instead.
We were talking about that when you didn't have your headphones on. We were talking about.
Yeah, we were just talking about the fact that this Crimson uniform for officers, nothing was ever even close to as good as this until you get to the better stuff they had going on for later seasons of DS9 and into some of the Voyager stuff, like with the vests and whatnot.
Yeah.
But these are beautiful, and so this meeting feels like it feels pretty genuine, except that why is Kirk's command crew here? Kirk should be there because he's the captain of the Enterprise. The Enterprise is getting this high priority mission. However, there's no reason to have his chief engineer, his communications officer.
No, Jason gave you the reason when we watched it.
Because
don't you remember?
No,
SAG.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what you said, Jason.
Well, that is correct. It's SAG. It was actually probably a requirement. It was on screen time minimums. It was in the contract, baby.
But I thought that was stupid. Like, it suits me.
No, it didn't make sense. I agree. Yeah. It didn't make, well, frankly, if you want to get down to it, it didn't make sense that conference room had anywhere near the number of people in there, regardless of the command crew.
Hey, Ariel, welcome. And normally I would try to solicit donations, but that pisses Salty off, so give it to him. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more.
Yeah. Give me your money.
Wait a minute. Did she ever give you the money for the crying dog? Because I did watch the video. I told you guys I watched it, and I was wrong. Jason, you were correct. That was the one you did on Friday. That was the Friday video.
Yeah,
you guys picking on me.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, my dog.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you. See you later. Bye. Sorry, that was the ex-wife bringing me all my. Look at this. This is how effed up I am, guys. This is what it takes to get sober. Look at this. Do you see all this crap? You see this? What is this?
Pills.
Six bottles.
Oh, hey, look! It's Walgreens.
Dude, I get all my pills mail order now because that's how bad I
look. It's the only I like having. I still very much will always love my ex-wife. I like the excuse for her to come see me. I have her pick up my meds and bring them to me. So they get delivered as well, just a little differently.
Anyway, so. But yeah, the command crew should not be there. I can see like Spock, Admiral Cartwright, the CNC, maybe a couple other high-ranking admirals that are all highly involved in Starfleet operations. that would have to do things like coordinate the dismantling of the star bases and stuff that they're talking
But it was a very busy room, regardless of even the command crew. There was a lot of people there.
14 minutes into this, and we are only, 2 minutes into the movie so far with this clip?
Yeah, we'll have to...
I mean, I got nothing but time. I don't go to an 8 meeting till 10, so I'm just pointing out.
Yeah. Now, I did not like this. I did not like the let them die.
Yeah, you were really off put by Kirk taking such a...
And we got into this when we watched it 2 Saturdays ago, because my thing was like, yeah, but they killed his son. And then you were like, yeah, but he tried to save Krug, like in 3 after, and he was the man responsible for the death of his son. So I'm like,
and almost immediately after that, So,
yeah. So yeah, it seems
Kirk. I could see Kirk.
It didn't bother me until you pointed that out, and now it's like, yeah, it's a little out of character, I guess.
Right? Yeah, Kirk would not say "let them die." Kirk would say, "I don't want to do this."
Yeah.
And so I don't. I understand the point they were trying to push as far as the racism aspect, but I think that if Kirk said something to the a little less evil. And
die.
Right. If he had said, look, if they die because of their own mistakes, that's on them. Something like that. Something like that, but then let them die. He sounded straight up evil. He sounded like a Bond villain in that.
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely nihilistic. It wasn't as gravelly as maybe you're inferring, but it was not good.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Harrison Ford level, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah. So Stan, no, as a matter of fact, in rehab, they were actually recommending THC, and I don't do sugar. I don't do sugar anyway.
They were recommending THC.
You got to remember, this is Vegas, but they were like,
please tell me you're not listening to that recommendation.
No.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because that's horrible.
Look, this is look, you got onto me. I only have, if you take a look,
I don't need to see.
I don't even have enough to smoke, and this is the same amount I had last time I showed you. So it's like I haven't been smoking.
There were 22 people in that conference room, by the way.
Oh, did you count?
I just went around the table. That's insane.
I would like you to acknowledge the fact that the last 3 is this. I'm not smoking. Have you noticed this? I mean, I still smoke, but I am not smoking on live streams anymore. That is my promise to you. So
and I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah. I know you're fighting it. I know it's a difficult battle. I just want to make sure if they're encouraging you to do something like that part you should not listen.
And I did switch brands. So now I'm smoking American Spirits because they don't have all those chemicals and they use organic tobacco. Yeah, I know it's still bad.
It's the healthy cigarette.
No. It's still bad, but it's not as bad.
Lucky Strikes.
Yeah. 3 out of 4 doctors recommend
Lucky Strike. Camel. No.
So this is how young people are. I was talking to my friend was at rehab, and I was like, I was talking about the Yul Brynner commercial. You guys remember that from the 84, 85?
I remember Yul Brynner.
No, so there was this.
Oh, the smoking one.
The Lung Cancer Association. He's like, basically, he's like, I'm Yul Brynner and I'm dead now because I smoked cigarettes. And it came out after he died.
Right. He made it specifically for when he was dead.
This dude had no idea what I was talking about. And because we couldn't have our phones, I couldn't show him. I was like, bro, you just Google it when you get home. It's just like,
This is a horribly done shot because, it looks like a promotional image.
It does.
But, so not Savick we're introduced to here. Which it really should have been Savick, but
I like my idea better. They should have had Valeris introduced in 3.
Right? Yeah. Either it should have been Valeris from Star Trek 3 on, or this should have been Savick.
Yeah. Either one. Yeah.
I didn't particularly care for this shot, but I paused it here because I also want to say, but I love this bridge.
Yes.
All right. It's dark yet well lit.
I was going to say, let's just call it what it really is. It's the best lit bridge probably in all of the Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
And remember the little factoid I shared again, guys. Supportsalty.com. You can see it in real time. They reused because they saved the bridge for whatever reason from the motion picture, and so they just redressed that bridge for this movie, which I thought was cool.
But one thing, like, and I mentioned this when we were talking about it as well, is that I really like that, and you can see it behind Valeris's head. There's clocks all over the place.
Yeah,
everywhere.
You were loving the fact that it was very naval in the sense that clocks were on every single wall practically.
Yeah. And the thing is that you never think about that, but yes, they have time on the ship. And like it's not like like when Spock said, as of 02/430 hours, I take command of the Enterprise. And it's like, how does he know what time it is? Well, now it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you look carefully at the clock behind Spock when he says that line, he is saying the correct time.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. But yeah, they need to. This bridge looks like an operations center, and so I really like it. And so Valeris, then being not Saavik, pilots the Enterprise out of space dock after reminding Kirk that regulations, because that's what Saavik did in Star Trek 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know, same guy wrote it, so it makes sense, and that felt like he was writing that for Saavik.
Yeah, so at least he wasn't stealing, because it was his own stuff.
Yes. It's funny. So Valeris, a character based on another character by the same guy.
Yeah.
So then we get the infamous Kirk Valeris conversation in his quarters. And again, look, the lighting is so well done in this movie. Mm-hmm. Like I love the foreshadowing of Kirk in prison with the shadows on him, and just the way they light every shot is so good. Okay, and then we get to another incredibly well lit scene. Mm-hmm. Spock and Valeris, where Spock makes Valeris tea. And we saw that in the credits, there's a special thank you to the company that made the glass that you're drinking the tea from.
Yes. Don't wait. You can keep going. I'll be right back, though. Sorry.
Okay.
Just got to say for a second, and I don't know if I've said this before, but it still blows my mind that Nick Meyer is not as well known beyond the Star Trek movies.
Yeah, I mean he's obviously a good director, but I think that and
he's done he has 9 directorial credits, mm-hmm. and he has 23 writing credits. But what's funny is how few movies that went on to become really, really big, or at least are in the cultural mind like Star Trek is, mm-hmm. That he was involved with. Like outside of the 2 Star Trek movies, he's got, and he did do the screenplay for Star Trek 4.
Right.
So technically 3 in a sense, but like 2 Star Trek movies heavily. Mm-hmm. But he was also involved with the production of The Prince of Egypt. And
good movie.
Sure. After that, like it's like this is and that's here and there. Like he's not really attached to anything big. Yeah, it's very funny that happens.
Hollywood is such a weird place because you would think, someone writes the 2 movies that are absolutely define Trek. And everybody loves those 2 movies. The fans loved it. The critics loved it. Both Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 6 were just that everybody knows they're the best. And yet, where's his accolades? Why didn't Paramount go, okay, what do you want to do next? Because let me write you a check.
Yeah,
I don't understand, especially since he knows how to work within a budget.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most important aspects too. Is he's able to do everything he can with the budget that he has,
Right.
or is given.
Right. So he's like the science fiction version of Robert Rodriguez, and I really, really appreciate that he does some stuff in these movies to save money that you wouldn't think of. And some of it, yes, recycling the TNG sets, but for the most part, who cares? It's just the
I mean, if we want to be honest about Star Trek, the reality is that it achieves what it has because it's willing to reuse things
right
as much as it is and not constantly go back to the well. Because as we've talked about before, there are movies today that have budgets that are stupid, or actually, even on a side note, forget about movies. There are TV shows or miniseries that have been produced in the last 10 to 15 years that have some of the most outrageous budgets. Mm-hmm. And yet they hit the ground with a thud instead of, glorious adulation and tons of viewership. And for me, a series that's coming to a close, right now is the Masters of the Air, and the previous series to that is the Pacific, and the previous series to that is Band of Brothers. The Pacific for me was where it was clear that Spielberg and Tom Hanks were losing their touch. Visually beautiful, amazing acting considering they went with low budget acting everywhere they could, but they spent so much time focusing on not the actual story, which was the right choice, focusing on the story in Band of Brothers. The budget for the Pacific exceeded the budget of the two next most expensive HBO series ever made combined. And yet it never, ever came close to making its money back. Band of Brothers, which is technically 11 hours worth of content, made more on DVD sales than almost every single movie for the last 2 years has made, like individually. But so budget is irrelevant. You just need to do a good story and reuse props and facilities. And these two movies are excellent examples of, especially with the TV show with Star Trek. They did the best they could with what they had, and they focused on the part that mattered, which was the story for the most part.
And one thing, again, I know this was the wonderful people at ILM did this, but man, the Katinga model they used, I know it's the same model they had from TMP, but just look at the way they lit it here. And because you can see that there's a star off to the right, and that light is shining in on, and it's just gorgeous. I love the only thing I don't like about it is that we never got a straight up fight between the Enterprise and this ship. I mean,
I love the score.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, I know it's less Star Trek-y than maybe what Mike likes, but it's
a great score. It's just it's not like it's not up there with Star Trek 2. Is all the only thing I would say. But I love Kronos 1.
Well, I told you in Nichols' memoir. Again, I'm repeating something I said when we watched this together, but for the benefit of the crowd watching live, Nichols wanted to get James Horner for this, but they didn't have the budget. You were just talking about a second ago, they didn't have the budget to get him, so they hired a relative. This was a kid. Cliff Eidelman was a kid when he did this, like younger than my son is now. So.
Well, and he obviously did a great job because it is a great score, even if it lacks themes for characters like Kirk and Spock and stuff. But it's overall, I mean, it creates the perfect mood for what's going on here. And so, and here's a nice shot of the Enterprise and Kronos 1 on their way to Earth. Mm-hmm. Man, I wanted to see those two ships fight.
Someday, I'm sure we'll get something, but we'll be too old to not care.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the days of seeing the Enterprise from the TMP era and a Klingon ship at this level of visual effects, those days unfortunately are gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of like what we were slightly talking about video games. I think unless and until everyone kind of gets the wake up call that they need with movie production, I don't think we're going to get that beautiful organic feel to the eyes that you get from a lot of these models.
Yeah.
I mean, as it stands right now, because it's in the exact same immediate movie era, you look at this and you look at, and again, because it's kind of very submarinary in nature, you look at this and you look at The Hunt for Red October.
Mm-hmm.
There are shots in The Hunt for Red October that are almost entirely, like nearly 100% practical, except for a couple of extra little embellishments that are added to imply directionality of which direction the submarines are moving in the water. And man, it's all practical. Except when you watch that movie today, if you watch that with someone who has no idea, they would swear that it was done with computer graphics, especially if you told them nothing about when it was made. And this is what we're missing.
This might be a bird question, but Michael, do you know the answer to this Ariel's question?
Oh, sure. Okay, so if you're going by beta canon sources, because alpha canon, there's not much there because they never really fought. However, based on beta canon sources, they're actually not that far off from each other. However, the Klingons, so the Klingons have superior weapons, but the Federation has basically superior everything else. So would the Constitution refit beat it in all probability? Yes, but that's also why the Klingons had these things roving around in packs. You know.
Yeah, they rarely ever went one at a time.
Right. And so imagine the Enterprise facing down 3 of these bad boys. You know, like in the Kobayashi Maru test, where the Enterprise gets obliterated because it faces 3 of them. Mm-hmm. And those superior torpedoes that the Klingons have are, you know, they're going to plow right through a ship if you have enough.
We are Klingons!
Yeah. Plus, and something we never saw in film, but the Klingon Katinga class has some of the same weapons as the D4, which means that it has disruptor cannons mounted to the warp nacelles that we've never seen it use. You know, so, but we did see that in TOS. We just, you know, didn't see it here.
Hey, sweetie.
Yeah.
You're being really lovey-dovey today. What's up? Oh.
It'd be hilarious if he like pulled this person up from under there. So we're introduced to Gorkon.
I liked your theory while we were watching this that's probably like the bone or a tooth of some beast he killed personally.
Yeah.
Walking stick.
Yeah. Which I love it. I'll take that as alpha canon, frankly.
Yeah.
And we also decided that it looks like they designed the Deep Space Nine uniforms because they have the red shoulders and the.
Now this transporter room, folks. This is a next gen set. Just
yeah. If you look carefully, the transporter room is the next gen transporter room, just with a couple extra walls added in.
Yeah.
And so yes, they use TV sets. Here's the 2 guys talking to Not Savick, where
the two assassins. I didn't pick up on this when I was a kid, but later in life, when I because I've watched this movie literally probably 100 times in the last 30 years, and I'm like, man, it was really obvious they like the 3 of them were the bad guys or the traitors, you know, because it kind of was right here. You men have work to do.
It should have been. But the funny thing is, and this is why I think this movie's message really, really worked, is that if you are a Trekkie going to see this film, you were a racist against Klingons in all probability when you walked into this film.
Jeremy D, what up, bro? Thanks for joining my channel. Hey, guys on my side, don't forget to hit that thumbs up.
I don't know that that's necessarily true.
No,
because
the Klingon
of the way
ships aren't particularly tough compared to the Federation makes better ships.
No, I'm talking about your assertion
about
that you would have gone into this movie as a racist against Klingons.
Well, and when I say that, I don't mean like you're like, you know.
No. But I mean, like, practically speaking, the reason why I say I don't think that would stick is because unless you were absolutely dyed in the wool TOS only, TNG had already long since started to modify things. Well, not just Worf, but all the Klingon tales in general, including the bad guys.
Was in season 4 by the time this movie came
after
out.
Someone died, and
but the films in the film era, the Klingons were still bad guys.
No, I know, but the problem is there'd already been several years of TNG on the air at this point.
You're assuming that everybody was TNG fans.
They were in season 4. Wow, what are you doing, buddy? They were in season 4 of TNG when this movie came out.
No, I get that. But I'm just saying that you knew that the Klingons were the bad guys because the Klingons were in this movie.
You assume that the people were all TNG fans. TNG is the most successful syndicated show in the history of
Michael's just a hater with TNG.
You can hate TNG and admit it. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate TNG.
You hate TNG.
I do not hate TNG.
Look, the first step.
You sound like Darren Wagner.
The first step to fixing a problem is admitting
you have one. Look,
right.
Hold up.
Hold, please.
So this is my pocket Alcoholics Anonymous book, and it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same principle. So step number 1, we admit that we are powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable. I just need you to admit to yourself that you're powerless to your hatred of TNG, and that your ability to unbiasedly critique it has become unmanageable. I just need you to admit that to yourself.
In my list, on Critic
you have
List,
TNG like 15th.
Yes, it's
come
15th.
on.
But I put it ahead of Star Trek Into Darkness, Star Trek Nemesis, Star Trek Insurrection, Star Trek The Final Frontier, Short Treks, First Contact, Star Trek Beyond, Picard, and Discovery. I all say are worse than TNG.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not saying that TNG is the worst thing Star Trek ever came out with.
Mom, where have you been? I've had this cat, guys, at least a couple months now, right?
Oh, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Mom.
Like since January, for sure.
Yeah.
But TNG is not as good as TOS. It's not as good as Deep Space Nine. It's not as good as Enterprise or Strange New Worlds or Lower Decks.
Okay, blasphemy. This is just blasphemy. We can't.
No, it's
anyway.
No, it's blasphemy.
It's only fact for you.
Yeah, again, all art is subjective. That's why I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying it's blasphemy. So for bonus points, what's my cat's name?
You know what really sucks?
I remember when I
suggested the name, and now I cannot remember.
Hella.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah. And I don't even remember what made me think of that, but but what's worse is that I couldn't remember it. I'm like, I'm a failure.
Very good.
So then Kirk and crew have dinner with Gorkon and crew.
Now, honestly, this scene has
1938.
Has one of the best lines and one of the worst lines in the entire movie. Right. And that is Earth Hitler, 1938. And you can't appreciate Shakespeare until you've heard it in the original Klingon.
Yeah, that makes no sense because Shakespeare was not a Klingon.
I'm like,
remember the comparison I made in like all of season 2 where Chekhov was always trying to claim that the Russians came up with stuff.
Right.
Remember we were talking about that.
But then we also have in this same movie Spock suggesting that there's an ancient Vulcan proverb that only Nixon could go to China. Right. Which is another thing that makes the movie kind of dated because, you know, Gen Zers and stuff, they're like, who the heck is Nixon and why would he go to China?
Okay, first of all, if they're not teaching kids,
dude, they're too
American
busy
presidential history.
No. Look,
like, there's something really wrong.
They are too busy trying to teach our kids about 17,000 genders.
Dude, when I went to the doctor today, I almost...
They want your pronouns?
They did. No. It was a whole line. So the first thing was gender identity. Then the second thing was gender at birth. And then the third thing was preferred pronouns. And on my first visit there, I didn't want to be an asshole. I didn't. So I was literally like, you guys know me. I can't help myself sometimes. I'm an asshole. I really wanted to just, you guys got to watch Loudermilk. I'm telling you, you'd be like, yeah, that's Danny. I wanted to be like, what the fuck? I got a fucking beard, man. Come on. Do I got to whip out my dick? I've done it before. I mean, what's going on here?
But nowadays it doesn't matter because there are women with penises and men with vaginas.
No. If you have a penis, you're not a woman. I'm sorry.
I'm going to say this hopefully before. I don't even know if it's going to necessarily matter because
off the air
because Canada is turning into the upside
Canada's
down.
Horrible.
Oh no! I'm going to break Danny. The Supreme Court of Canada has ruled that the use of the word woman is inappropriate when referencing people in cases, and that you should say person with vagina.
Get the
Supreme Court of Canada.
So wait,
So you know what I like about being sober? Did you see how I stopped myself?
Just
and thought about?
Wait. Here's some inspiration. Here's some inspiration for Danny, though. I have some inspiration for Danny first. Mm-hmm. I am surviving this without a bottle. So you can too.
Yes, thank you.
I'm about to try and find one of my bottles right now.
Oh God.
So let me.
It's a question.
So if you're in court,
yes,
in Canada, you can no longer refer to a person as a woman. You have to say that is a person with vagina.
Ben One Eye's backing him up here, just in cases, not in casual conversation.
No. I get that, Ben One Eye. Okay. They're saying the legal term for a woman is a person with vagina. So
that was the scolding that the Supreme Court gave on a lower court ruling with regards to what was going on. It was really stupid. It was really, really, really bad.
But does that mean that you can no longer use the term man and you have to call a person with penis?
Person born with a penis? I don't know. And I'm waiting until that one breaks because at this point, like it's
whatever happened to when the word man was just short for mankind, which is short for humankind. You know what I mean?
Just like, please send help.
Yeah. So Don, when I was in because they don't allow, when I was in rehab, they don't allow you to have your phone or use a computer or anything. So believe it or not, I was reading the newspaper every day because that was the only way to get news. I read that news in the paper while I was in rehab, and I was devastated by it because I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. I raised my son Devin on Dragon Ball Z. It's something we share together whenever they do the Dragon Ball Super movies or any Fathom event of Dragon Ball. We go out to it. It was terrible, devastating news. Man was really young too. It was like 60, 61, something like that. So
I've never seen any of the Dragon Ball stuff, but I've heard that they're pretty good.
They're really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got into
don't
that.
Don't ever watch GT. GT's no bueno, but everything else
I know
good.
It had massive and still has massive following.
I mean, that's why my cat's named Goku, for crying out loud.
Well, actually, the thing that I got it sucks that he passed away. For all those people that mean something, that he means something to. However, I love that the morons that are now causing Gamergate 2 decided they were going to plant their flag on top of his grave. They decided that he was. They decided that he was racist.
Why was he racist?
Not enough black people in his cartoons, and I'm not kidding.
See that. Here's the problem.
Fuck. Sorry.
It's okay. Look, I can understand if you want to suggest depending on the story, that you might have overrepresentation.
Arguably, Naruto also Don.
Yeah.
Arguably,
But as far as anime is concerned, anime is Japanese animation, so I would expect to see most of the characters to be Japanese.
Yeah.
And in
Japan, they had a black guy. They had a bunch of aliens. I mean, they did have, I'm pretty sure they only had one black guy, but still. And they only had one white guy. Satan was the white guy. Everybody else was, But
what I was going to say, and thank you so much, Planet X, to boldly go where no person with a penis has gone before. Yes.
I could you have to do like a slap happy update to the theme and the words on the screen for the show.
The problem is you have to say the boldly go where no person with a penis or person with a vagina or anybody in between that on the spectrum.
Can the aliens just please attack us now? There's too many stupid people here.
Sweet meteor of death or alien invasion or I don't know.
God send the apocalypse.
Yes, please.
You know what? I'm saved now. Well, I got to get baptized again, but I believe in you. Just send the 4 horsemen already.
even still, please come now.
It's so.
I got a question, Michael. If I made the trek out there to visit you, are you qualified to actually be the one to dunk me?
Oh, the way our church does it, anybody can dunk anybody.
Really?
Yes.
If I can afford it, I think it'd be cool to have you do that.
We do, but we do baptisms regularly here. So
okay.
If you want, if you ever wanted to come out here, you're welcome to. I can't promise you a room because our house is full, but I'll definitely throw you in some water at church.
Super chat.
And don't forget to highlight it, guys, so I can see it.
It's right there, brother.
So not every story can or should check off a box. No, I agree, and that's what I'm kind of saying, is that you know. Okay, so if you wanted to say, well, wait a minute, Kirk's crew doesn't have enough diversity, and it's like they defined diversity. You know.
I know, right? I mean, come on. Like, everybody knows that story by now. Nichelle Nichols was going to quit, and Dr. Martin Luther King, of all people, Jr.
Yeah, it was like, whoa.
No,
you
know.
He said, get back on that show. I'm going to dox your ass. So
he never said that. Come on now.
I think he said something like that.
I don't even think dox was a word until 10 years ago.
Dox wasn't a word until like 3 years ago.
First use of word dogs.
But the
which, by the way, I got curious for recent isms, we'll call it. I got this, or you got this, or any variation of that.
You got this, bro.
First only actually identifiable use was in 2010. It's super, super new, which is why that one lights me right up when it's included in fiction.
That takes place before 2010.
Well, anything that takes place either in a universe or in an era that is out of time from our existence. Mm-hmm. That saying being used in the writing drives me.
That can't
around
be
the
right.
bend.
You got this, or we got this.
It's only from 2010. It's not that old at all.
Wow.
Yeah,
it feels older.
Yeah, I know. It's funny how some of that stuff grows
officer,
on you quick.
I wasn't going to ask her for her ID. She looked over 21. I don't know what to say. You know,
well, that's been around since there have been police. It was just different ages for different cultures. So like if you were in Israel 2,000 years ago, no, I swear she looked 14. So. Well, just the rules were different.
Now that my daughter's 15, I'm really starting to like.
She should be married already.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if we enter the anarchy, then that might actually be.
When the anarchy, you're going to end up with Seth Rogen who's going to kidnap her and.
You know what sucks about? I like this pocket version because I keep it in my coat all the time, but it's poorly bound. I just had to tape one of the pages back in it.
Well, stop ripping on the pages.
I'm not. I use it a lot. Okay. I'm just like, I've only been out of rehab 4 days and my book's falling apart. I have the real one, but it's in the car because.
Well, maybe use the real one for when you're at the home and just use that one when you're out and about.
No, because we have to read from the book at the meetings and. Anyway.
So bring the real, my daughter always brought the real one to the meetings. What's your problem?
Well, I just don't like
too heavy for you.
It's just never.
Early 90s for docs, by the way. I actually found an answer.
Really?
Quick. Yeah, early 90s. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was isolated because it was in the Usenet forums and stuff like that.
Right. So it's always been a computer term.
Yeah.
But it was just very obscure until recently.
Ariel, I'll call my mom if you send me a donation. Otherwise, no. And hey, what's going on with this dog movie? Don't you gotta? Did you? Well,
Ariel said she had some bills to pay.
Okay. Well, that's more important. That's more important than making me cry.
Once I'm sure that when the time is right, she'll drop the 20 and we'll be watching.
Oh, that's why you told me to call my mom. Okay, Mom, I'll call you. Sorry,
Penny. you have his number.
You know, when the show's over,
she can text them and everything, but no.
No, you got to throw comments into my chat. Instead of just calling him,
you could charge her 25 cents a chat message.
Technically, it was in my chat. She put that in my channel. Chat.
Well, still, it pops up on the screen.
And I think Mercer's trying to give you $1 because he's asking, were ICE the $1 don't? Oh, yeah. He's like, okay.
Oh, is it not in the description? Because I thought it should be in the description, but I can't. Let me go to YouTube.
Oh, you offered 50. I watched it. You offered 50. Then Jason said, no. You're going to put me through. That's got to be at least 100.
Oh, if you're going to do 50,
I'll take 20 to call my mom. Links in my description. So there
you should. You're a mama's boy. Why aren't you calling her every day?
I used to. I know I'm slacking. I feel bad. I called you from rehab.
You left the old description in there.
You called me and you didn't call your mom.
I know. Yeah, I feel terrible about
dude,
that.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I know. I am too. I'm sorry.
You left the old description in there.
Yeah,
on his, mine's been updated because because.
Crap.
And I was actually proud of him for not misspelling the title. I didn't have to edit the title in because he actually got all the spelling correct in the title. If you go back, are you having a stroke, bro? What's going on? Did his screen freeze? Oh, there you go. Okay.
But that was.
No, I'm listening to you ragging on my spelling abilities, knowing that I have dyslexia.
Hey, look, man.
That's what an open Chrome tab is for. You just drop it in the bar, man, and it'll just be all, hey, dummy, here's a red line.
Oh, don't say that, Ariel. I love my mom. Don't be like that.
You're right, Ariel.
No. Hey, Mom, if you really want to hear from me, find me a job out there. I'll send you my resume. We'll talk after the show. Help me, and I'll come out there. Ha! Another man with some sense. Why didn't you like it, Mercer? Let me guess.
Actually, that's
because
it was weirder,
boring.
Though. No. But read the whole comment though.
He didn't like Dune 2, but he loved Part 1. Okay, cool.
That makes no sense because Part 2 is just like Part 1.
Part 2 is boring. Part 2 is so boring.
You are so insane.
No, I'm not.
There are Klingons on the screen now. Let's talk about the Klingons.
Look? They had giant worms and nuclear bombs and people getting swallowed up in a change from emperor and all the political intrigue and stuff. Not to mention one of the coolest little knife fights we've ever seen.
The knife fight was dope. Okay, you said on the stream where you guys were picking on me when you talked about Dune 2, you said that Christopher Walken wasn't walking it up. Bullshit. It was almost comical how much he was like.
What are you talking about? He had like 10 lines in the whole movie.
First of all, no, he was in. Okay, you guys really lowered my expectations because he was in a lot more of the movie than that. And I bet you he had at least 40 lines.
Most of the time, he was silent.
And half of them, he did like when at the end. When he's like, in his actual, where he's not dressed like a bum, like where they go to Arrakis with his daughter and stuff,
right.
And he's talking, it's totally, wow, I'm Christopher Walken. It's how he was talking. It was ridiculous.
Muad'Dib, he frightens me.
It was, dude, it totally was. You're out of your damn mind.
First of all, yes, he is Christopher Walken because he's Christopher Walken. I mean, it's not like this.
No, Ariel. Austin Butler, the guy that played Elvis, was Fade. Sting was Fade.
Yeah,
I don't even think
Dave
Batista's character was. No, he was.
No, he absolutely was.
Yeah,
remember,
he was the
Fade
big
was next to the big guy.
Yeah, the big guy. Man, and I tell you what, spoiler alert, they punked Batista out in this movie, made him kiss that dude's boots. That shit was fun.
By the way, Anthony Mark just took me to school. I was off by a whole decade. George Lopez started the I Got This thing. So it's probably in the very first year that he did his show. So all the way back to 2001. But he took to Twitter and he absolutely schooled me.
Yeah, there you go.
But still, that's not that far back when you think about it.
Right.
Like 20 years or less, basically.
So Mercer didn't like the visual effects? Are you
What? That's the only good thing besides Austin Butler. Ah, okay, Mercer. Just stop. You're not
Mercer's
helping.
he's confusing the situation.
Put up that SAM HSA national hotline thing again. I think Mercer needs help.
Needs some help.
Yeah, Mercer, if you're struggling with alcoholism or any other kind of substance abuse, please call this number.
Well, the M in SAM HSA the MH stands for mental health. So that's, I think, where he needs the help more.
All right.
Well, I may not always be
and
right.
She might not be talking about pitchforks
but sometimes
in her houses.
I'm only just be mistaken. That's all.
Yeah, she's at you
Look,
again.
Yeah, we can see that he obviously sucks at his job.
No, I was just shooting from the hip.
Yeah, dude, he did. He turned around and ran like a little girl after talking so much shit when he was trying to rally the troops.
But they were trying to show that he was all talk.
Oh, totally. Yeah, he was a little bitch. Yeah.
He thought everything was groovy when he had the Emperor's Sardaukar doing all the hard work in part one. But now that...
Well, he seemed like more of a badass in part one to me. You know what I mean? Like, they really bitched him out in this part two.
I don't know. Well, what happens to his character in the book? Do you remember?
I'm not telling you.
All right, so...
he does die, but I'm not telling you any more than that.
But was it closer to what we saw in this movie or in the Lynch film?
You're gonna have to refresh my memory. What happened in the Lynch film? Because in
the Lynch film, he's just window dressing, and he doesn't really.
He just stands around and grunts and smiles like a retard. Or sorry, I'm not supposed to say that word. You know what I mean? Like an idiot.
But yeah, so he doesn't do much of anything, and Sting is the only one that actually does anything when he gets into the knife fight. But the knife fight in the new one is so much better,
dude.
And
I like how
Butler as what's his name again? Fade. Butler as Fade is worth the price of admission alone.
Okay, I would. If you got one of those movie theaters like on Tropicana, we've got a $2 cinema. It's worth that.
Oh,
much.
Come on!
It's worth that much.
You are such a dick.
No, because you're going to want to get popcorn and a drink, so you're going to spend probably 10 or 15. 15's the cap. 15's the cap for me. It's just like Austin Butler's role.
Mercer hated Butler.
He's not even in the. See, Mercer, go call that hotline. He's not. Fade doesn't even come into the movie until like an hour and a half in. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they establish like.
You're talking about the David Lynch.
No, I'm talking about the new one where because it was like an hour and a half before we see Fade, and when we see him, it's his birthday, and he's fighting these people gladiator arena style.
And his birthday apparently was that they were not.
No, that one of them was not drugged.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, like, so all this time they've been fixing his fights? Come on, man,
he's royalty. What do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Benoit. Mercer has just got to be trolling at this point.
And I did say, I don't know if you heard me, Danny, but I did, and I should have said it earlier. While I think the visual effects overall for this film were outstanding, I thought that the arena scenes looked horrible.
No, yeah. So I was looking for that because I watched that, and you said you felt like it was copy and paste, and it was just the people doing the thing. Yeah. I mean, it didn't bother me. I mean, the CGI crowd in Creed bothered me more than this one because they looked like video game characters.
Were you talking about Creed 2 or because I don't remember them in Creed?
All three of the Creed movies at the end when he has his big fight in the big arenas with 16,000 people or whatever, that's green screen. It's really just it's their boxing ring surrounded by green screen,
right.
And all the fans are digital. It's crazy, and you can really tell. In those movies.
Hollywood doesn't understand. Like I get, like I know there are people that say, "Oh, you should do everything practical," and that's stupid because you can't do everything practical.
Right.
But what you should not do is put digital people in place when you could get extras.
Dude, all they had to do was like you go to like a real boxing thing or a real thing or whatever, and just in between. Be like, And who would
you have
want
to
to do that?
understand-
And
no, you
just shoot in between. Because like the
But you
last
have-
UFC
but wait,
fight
wait.
I watched, there was like 45 minutes in between two of the fights. I
But
mean,
the
just
problem there, Danny, is that you do have to understand that making a film, something like the boxing fight from Creed, probably took a week to film, and so and that's full days.
yeah. No, I
And
get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Planet
So-
X, we already talked about doing at the top of the show. I mean, sometimes we keep bringing it back because we're talking
because
interacting
Danny's a
with you guys.
freaking idiot.
Whatever.
And so's Mercer
No,
now.
Mercer brought it up this time.
We just
And
got to
he's-
stop touching the Mercer bait and just
Yeah.
leave it alone.
Yeah.
Move on back to the cool Klingons here.
Right. So
Yeah.
Kirk is ordered to bring the Klingons to
Wait,
Arrakis.
What's with the smug look on Kirk's face, by the way? Like he's like,
He's
kinda
like, I don't
smug,
like
isn't
this
it?
guy.
yeah.
Mhm.
Whereas Scotty, he's just got the grumpy cat
Yeah.
face.
And remember, Gorkon's even, you don't like me, and so Gorkon's now, and this is what I love. Gorkon even looks like he's the Abe Lincoln of Klingons.
He really does.
Yeah.
So did it change the? No. Stan.
I totally didn't mean to make that joke, and then Ariel picked up on it.
I took it as a variation of clickbait, but now that
Yes,
you did that,
no, I know,
now-
but
yeah.
I think that's what he meant, but
Get
I
your
should-
mind out of the gutter, Ariel.
I should know better with Ariel in the chat.
Yeah. So changing
so
our
Mercer
name
wants
to
the $1
Nerd Fights.
hold on,
Does-
let me find the chat link for him.
Okay.
because-
Just go to paypal.me/salty-trekker or anti-trekker.
Well,
Just
no,
give
but
it to
that
him
won't
directly.
that won't pop up on the screen though. That's
Yeah.
so-
Okay. So I got a question. Somebody brought this up. You changing the name of the channel to Nerd Fights ! All one word. Does that change your link address also, or is it
No,
still
my link address is still
Salty
actually-
Trekker?
Yeah, Salty.
Okay.
Because Salty Trekker is the name of the account,
Okay.
which is weird the way they do that, but hey, whatever. All right, so going to an old live stream.
Shit. We're watching Generations this weekend, aren't we?
No, yeah.
Damn.
All right, here we go. I found it, Mercer. I'm copying and we'll paste in just a moment.
Do it.
For Pi
Do
Day.
it now.
Where's edit? There's the stupid edit button.
And I tell you what, Planet X, just to go back to this while he's doing that, I'm going to share the link to my criticless review of Doom 2. And that's really all you need to know about the movie. So here you go.
It's the worst review ever made.
I just put it in there for you, Planet X.
It's absolute garbage.
Check it out. No, it's not.
lie.
I speak truth to power. You guys are all shills, mindless shills. Just,
All right.
you know.
So first of all, the link is now in the description. So if you refresh it, you'll see it there.
There you go. There you go.
And
Now give that man his $1.52 after the fees come out, but give it to him. He appreciates every penny.
I do.
He's got a car payment now.
And by the way, if you guys come into Nashville, there's a chance if you order an Uber that it could be me.
So I got a question, bro. Actually, you know what I just thought of? You were complaining about having the car payment, but your car is no gas, right?
Correct. It is all electric.
So isn't it going to be a wash?
Oh, yeah. I will tell you. It is amazing the difference in cost.
You probably spent more on gas than your car payment
Yes.
in a month. Yeah,
That's why I'm willing to do it.
That's intelligent right there, man. That's
Right. Because when you do the math, it's like $50 worth of gas versus $3 in electricity.
I just filled up my tank on Monday. Okay, the day after I got out of rehab, filled up my tank. Between going to these meetings and the doctors things and IOP, like I gotta get gas again. Like either tonight or next time I leave the house, I gotta go straight to the gas station. I just filled the damn thing up on Monday. It's crazy.
The Canadian will stay out of the conversation.
It cost me $60 to fill up my tank. Also, $60 freaking dollars. It's crazy.
It's $60. That's like 1 gallon of gas in Canada.
I live in the only nation with a carbon tax. Shut up.
Yeah.
Because, Ariel, I'm not a drunk anymore, and I actually respect Michael enough to not bring up such topics because I know he doesn't like them. Did you like that, Michael? Was that good? That was good, right?
It was nice, butt kissing. But the truth of the matter is that, sure, Dave Bautista was a wrestler, but he's not a wrestler anymore. He's an actor.
No, he's retired. Totally, 100% retired.
And who's the other wrestler that's in it? I didn't know. No, there was 2 wrestlers in it.
Yeah, who is the other wrestler in it?
I mean, I know about Dave Bautista, I love Batista as an actor. I think he's a.
I actually think Batista out of The Rock, John Cena, and Batista. I think Batista's the best actor. I think he's the best of the 3 of them, as far as acting goes, because he's showed his range, whereas The Rock only plays super chat.
Okay, I can't read that because of the controls.
It says, while the Dune story was sound, how the first one felt, music and visuals together was what I loved. The second one had no cadence in the pacing. See, that's what he.
Okay, so let me say,
and he's like, I need help. I'm taking it.
All right, so let me say this on that. I will absolutely grant you that the first one has a better soundtrack. I like the music. The new one, while the music is very epic, it doesn't.
Not Sting the wrestler, Sting the singer, Ariel. Good Lord.
Yeah, it was Sting is in the lead singer of the Police.
Of the Police. Yeah.
But the music was very epic in the new one, but it wasn't as catchy as the da 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 from the David Lynch film.
Why does everybody like the score? The score in these new Dune movies is just like.
I think it's good. I just, like I said, I don't think it's as memorable. I just don't think it's as memorable as the first one. As far as the pacing,
if you send him $10, you send it to me. You send it
no,
you're my mom. Not
yes,
his.
and you don't call your mom.
I need gas.
You don't call your mother.
I do. I just not as much as I used to.
Well, shame on you.
Fine. You know what? I'm gonna call her right now. Do it live. F it. I'll do it live. Right, I'm just kidding.
No, Mercer. I get what you're saying. I'm saying I agree with you that. You're saying that part 1 music was better than part 2. Honestly, I don't.
Mom, who's ADD, is trying to get our asses back on track.
We'll get back to Star Trek and stuff, but you know what? Mercer was nice enough to give a donation, so it deserves.
There you go.
I do think that the music was not like as epic and memorable as it could be, but the pacing of the movie, which I know is something Danny hated as well. But this is the same guy that brought us Blade Runner 2040, whatever. So
2049, which I loved, by the way.
Yeah, and that movie is paced. That movie's paced in a very similar way. It's slow. It's slow and deliberate. The pace, it's always moving forward. You don't get any point, in my opinion, where it's like, this really has nothing to do with the story. It's always moving forward, but it is not a sprint to the finish line.
I think I might actually lower my Dune review after this conversation. I don't know.
Oh, now you're just being a dick.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Back to Gorkon, who is worried about the spice on Praxis.
Spice.
The spice.
Wait a minute. Did we skip the whole... anyway.
We had the dinner thing. We were trying to... Look, dude, we're 26 minutes into the movie, and it's almost time to stop. So, trying to hurry.
Oh, come on. I don't want this to end.
That's what you're supposed
to let it end this way.
Yeah.
So you can see Kirk.
Did anybody ever tell us who the second wrestler was, or did she mistake Sting?
I think she mistook Sting.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was very confused by that there were 2 wrestlers in the second Dune.
Yeah.
Story.
So this is the infamous Kirk facepalm here.
Yeah.
He realizes how.
What's
if you
funny?
Zoom in, if you
look at that too long, it looks like a fake arm.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say was, at that angle, you could really tell Shatner does, in fact, wear a toupee.
Oh well, yeah. I mean.
So here's another shot where notice there's several shots in this movie where the entire cast is just lined up next to each other.
Okay. Again, probably some type of contractual thing,
Yeah.
Like at the very end when they all just like pose after they save the president on Kittimer at Kittimer. That was ridiculous.
Right. But notice, they're all in ascending order there, and they just
super chat.
All right, what do you say this time?
We do believe that all planets have inalienable rights. In Alien, this movie has all kinds of modern call-outs.
You know what? So Chekhov's statement that we believe that all planets have sovereign, inalienable human rights.
Ow! 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 I think he was jealous. Oh my God, that hurt.
I do believe that could have been it. Got to come back and mark the territory.
Ow!
This is my scratching post.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to yell in your ear.
God, no, that was great. That was that was.
Well, thankfully,
and then he leaves me his hair. Look at this. You see this?
Yes. I say, thankfully, modern microphones do at least have an uppercut. So.
Yes. So, but back to what Mercer was saying as far as the dialogue. Yes, there are a couple of modern little things in the dialogue, but it's not like Discovery, where they're all dropping F-bombs and talking like they're in the streets of L.A. or something.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the little things that we got in this. Because it was done to...
I'm glad my pain brings you guys pleasure. Look at this. The truth shall set you free, laughing at me.
It's awesome, yeah. When I keep trying to tell you cats are evil, but you don't listen to me, and so what do you do?
It's like,
now they're piling on Ariel. Thank you. Wow, she wants you to clip
it's
that.
It's like there's like a weird... It's switch from being a cat to being a woman. It's like there's a weird little slice of jackass in whenever something unfortunate happens to you.
So I'll never forget. And you guys weren't around back then, but this was years ago when we were doing a live stream and got LDG to just be laughing hysterically, and he leaned back, and then the chair broke.
Ow.
And he went down
live on air, and he just fell over. Huh?
Yeah. So then he had to get a new chair. He had to do like a telethon to raise money to get a new chair.
Man, he's somebody I need to say hi to him. I haven't hit him up since I got out of rehab. I gotta anyway.
Well, you know where he's at.
Yeah, I gotta do that.
Anyway, but so here we have the cast lined up, regretting drinking Romulan ale. So what I want to know. Look, I'll get a fresh
pot of black coffee.
Yeah, I get that McCoy gets his. McCoy is clearly a drug pusher, right? And so
he's a smuggler.
Yeah. I mean, he brags about it in the original. Remember the original series? It's like, I've got stuff that'll tranquilize an active volcano, and he's probably shooting himself up every night, right? And remember that giant bottle of Quaaludes that he had from the man trap? He just happens to have it in his quarters.
Not a Quaalude. She loved me in the morning.
And Kirk was even, why don't you take one of them red pills he gave me? You'll see.
Which honestly really makes you have to wonder how McCoy made it to 138.
Ooh, speaking of sleep, I've been having a hard time since I've gotten home. Because when I was in rehab, when I couldn't sleep, they just give me a pill, and like 20 minutes later, I'm passed out. So Monday night, I literally didn't go to bed. I was up Monday from 9 a.m. until I went to bed Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. You do the math, because I couldn't sleep, and then I had responsibilities, so I had to stay awake. So I just barreled through it with coffee. That's like over 48 hours, right? That was like that was crazy.
And that's not good for you.
I know it's not. So that's why the doctor today gave me this called hydroxyzapam cap. Is that right? No, that's not. Not. Is that it? What's the one for sleeping?
I don't know. My doctor gave me trazodone, but
trazodone. That's what it is. Yes, trazodone. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I have an unlimited supply of trazodone.
Yeah, trazodone. It's 50 milligrams. He says if that doesn't do the trick, take 2, and next time he'll just prescribe me hundreds. So.
Right. Yeah, Valium.
How much? What do you
Valium would be
take?
better. Stan, I don't know the dose. I don't.
You don't? Okay.
It's I have. I think my trazodone is downstairs.
Okay.
But the it's whatever the max dose is.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what it is. So it's stronger than this. This is the low dose one.
Right,
So,
because I've already graduated to the hard stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the Valium would work better, but unfortunately, doctors will not prescribe Valium unless you've just had surgery or something.
I only get Valium when I get MRIs because of my claustrophobia.
Yeah, they'll give me Valium for my MRIs, and I've actually gotten prescription of Valium for travel because I get apprehensive in flights.
Oh, and by the way, well, I'll see you guys hopefully. Well, for those of you who don't join us on the live stream tomorrow, if you pray, on the 18th, I go to the Dr. Duke about my neck. So
I thought
pray
that's
that-
what you were doing today.
No. Today was I had to do a follow-up, rehab follow-up.
Oh,
with
that's
the
a
doctor,
rehab thing. Okay,
and then after that was an addiction psychiatrist.
gotcha.
So yeah.
But anyway, so these guys. So what I was trying to say. So I get that McCoy is a pusher. He's got a stash. I'm totally fine with that. What I'm not okay. What I'm not okay with is
Totally fine with that.
the Enterprise having a supply of Romulan ale, an illegal substance, in the galley.
Look, Admiral Cartwright hooked up Valeris with that just so the dinner would go poorly, so they could, something.
I don't know, man. Bones has got a problem.
Yeah, Bones has a real problem.
Look, again,
but how
I'm
would
telling you,
Valeris know about Bones' stash? So that's why I think she got it.
That's
from
why,
Cartwright.
yeah.
that
that's
should have been
thing.
the first hot tip. Bones should have freaked out and be like, "What?"
Yeah, right.
Bones would have just been walking around the table passing out the hypo, going, tss, 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 hey, check this stuff out. I think we can isolate it down to, see, Bones became an addict in City on the Edge of Forever.
Assassins!
Yeah, when he pumped
Murderers!
himself full of stuff. Although they'd already established that he had the Valium supply in his, so yeah, I guess he was already an addict. But
Assassins!
I think maybe it wasn't an accident when he shot himself full of that stuff. He just used the shaking of the ship as an excuse.
I want to show you. I don't know what brought this up, but people might be worried about you when you get presents like this. You see the name of this book?
I can't quite read it. No, it
says "Reasons to Stay Alive."
Oh, that's uplifting.
Steak is delicious, top of the list.
There you go.
Steak wrapped in bacon. Number one is if there's a steak,
bacon,
number
shrimp,
two
all together.
Actually, I was gonna say it's number one says steak. Number two says if you don't understand that steak is good enough, add bacon.
All right, we got another donation.
Super chat. You sure it wasn't Sting from Lord of the Rings? Why, guys? Why are you trying to?
What's even going on now?
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's
thank you
an
for the
inanimate.
dollar.
Yeah, thank you for the dollar, but that's an inanimate object.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and yes, Uhura is definitely looking thick. Planet X.
You know what she looking like to me? She looking like a snack. Oh yeah.
What?
A snack. She's looking like something I'd like to snack on. Never mind. If I got to explain the joke, it's not funny.
Yeah, it definitely was not funny. Murchie says Salty has to Jaloja?
Yeah, you got to pee? I think he's trying to say you have to pee.
Why?
I don't know. That's just what Mercer said.
Mercer, you're a weirdo. All right, so then the Enterprise...
Again, Mercer, I think you should call 1-800-662-HELP or just dial 998 from your cell phone. Either one.
Yeah. So the Enterprise apparently fires 2 photon torpedoes at Kronos 1, and then these 2 guys wearing engineering protective suits.
It happens immediately after Spock calls Kirk to the bridge to tell him there's a radiation surge.
Right. Because it was a neutron.
Hence number one.
Yeah, neutron radiation. And that's Dan. Yeah, that's.
Whoa, is that true?
No,
because I don't want to. I haven't had. Never mind. That's TMI. It's I haven't laid with a woman in quite some time.
Shut up. We don't need to go there. Your mom is watching.
My mom would probably be happy to hear I haven't gotten laid in like
No, yeah, but your mom would
moons.
probably prefer to know that you're
super chat.
Your mom would probably want to know that you're a
You can
virgin.
read it now. I put it on the screen for
A
you.
steak, bacon, cheeseburger. A steak, bacon, cheeseburger sounds
Dude,
amazing.
if you use the Wendy's app, you can get their double for $2. I think I'm going to do that when I leave here to get gas.
Which, by the way, while you were out of touch with the world, there's a reason. There's a reason why they're on a rampage trying to get people back to the store.
Why? What I miss? What I miss?
Oh, this is worth talking about.
Another
for a
finger.
second.
Oh, hold up 1 second, because he got another super
Grand
chat.
Admiral Thrawn, I see that part.
Just a quick observation. I know it would change the story a bit, but shouldn't Kronos 1 have just cloaked for its journey? No escorts needed? Well, then we wouldn't have a movie, Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't have an escort, though, because it was a setup anyway.
Yeah.
The Bird of Prey was only there as bad.
And, well, no, but the Kronos 1, we never established it has a cloaking device. So we don't know that the Klingons...
Yeah, I mean, that's true. We don't even know if that ship...
Yeah.
Because it's not like they give them all cloaks.
Yes.
We've only seen Birds of Prey cloak as far as Klingons.
Cerstus just stole the wind out. So they were going to, no joke, and they tried. They tried to talk out of this, but no. If you look
Who
at
are we
what they
talking
were
about? Wendy? Are we back to
Wendy's
Wendy's
was
now?
going to implement in 2025 at select stores, whatever that actually really means, a program of surge pricing on food on the menu.
So the price would go up when the demand is high.
Kind of like Uber.
Yeah, exactly like what
But
Uber
except in a
Miss Betty,
world
Miss
we
Betty's
live
calling
in.
me. I got to take this.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry. You guys keep talking.
Yeah, that's it.
does. So we'll talk about Danny for a little bit. Idiot he is. And, you know.
I definitely.
I'm still listening in one ear.
I've just come up with a name for what we see on the screen, though. That's the laser phaser.
The laser phaser.
I like
that phaser.
Because it pews straight through. I know we talked about it, but yeah, it's like they had to leave evidence behind. But I just love how it's just like the most, I just poked a hole through your balloon.
Yeah. And Stan, you're exactly right. So yeah, a burger might be $5 at 9 a.m., but $10 during dinner rush.
Okay, she better not be lying. Apparently she's fallen and she can't get up. I'm paraphrasing. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's not good. Hopefully she's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she's elderly, and according to Danny, she should be calling that helpline number. Yeah, so hopefully she's all right. And Mercer, it's good to see you too. Haven't seen you in a while, so glad you're back. I'm, as far as surge pricing, I don't like that Uber does it. I understand why Uber does it, because there's limited drivers.
Well, and that's what actually makes Uber doing what they do, and Lyft does the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what making that be a thing actually justifiable, regardless of whether you like it or not.
Right.
But having a surge price on food, like, are you going to have a surge salary for the people working there?
Right, because the difficulty of getting you a burger does not go up.
No.
That was not cool what she just did.
Oh.
No, she
And she called you because she would fall down.
She didn't. She didn't.
Uh-oh.
She's like, I just wanted you to come up here, and I thought it was funny. I was like,
She actually
That's not
say
funny.
that?
yeah. I was like, that's not funny, Betty. Are you done with your show yet? I need you to go to the store. I was like, Betty, I'm not buying you wine. I told you that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I told. Yeah, no alcohol runs for you. That's too much of a temptation.
Call Uber Eats. Whatever.
Yeah. Does Uber deliver booze in your?
They do out here. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
out here.
So, yeah, I don't know. I know it varies from state to state as far as what's legal.
Yeah.
But
Jesus
yeah,
Christ,
I don't
Stanley,
do.
what kind of question is that? Of course not.
No, she was. She was absolutely naked,
You guys.
covered in baby oil.
Anyway, let's get back to this laser phaser that cuts off arms and shit.
Yeah.
Well, because, remember, the phaser is more of a tool than just a weapon. So, yes, you can use it to cut, you can use it to heat, you can use it to stun, you can use it to
because remember,
vaporize.
they even use starship phasers to go mining.
Yeah.
So, hey.
And Chekhov and Sulu in 2 different episodes of TOS use it to heat up rocks, to use as almost like a fireplace.
And Kirk in Devil in the Dark was suggesting they use phasers to cut tunnels to try and trap the Horta.
Yeah.
So, and we did see in the animated series, those hand phasers could definitely do it. So, because remember the animated series when we saw the full power of a phaser when they were rescuing Harry Mudd.
Harry Mudd.
All right, so they shoot and leave evidence because they're, but then they accidentally get some evidence smeared on their boots.
Oh, bringing back the floaty blood.
Yeah, the floaty blood.
Which I got to admit, that's a nice piece of continuity there. That they do show the transporter pad and the boots.
Yeah.
Even though you might not think about it until Chekhov finds the actual blood.
Yeah, that's the thing that's actually kind of fun is that they take a good long walk around the park before they show the blood on the transporter pad.
Right. Yeah. And you might not put 2 and 2 together. Like the first time you saw it, you might not remember that you saw blood floating onto the transporter pad. But then the second time you see it, you're like, oh crap, they actually did that.
Yeah.
And so I love this. For that, I will blow you out of the stars.
Dude, she's 82. She's too old.
No, that sounds like about the right age for you.
Isn't Beverly Crusher like 7? Once she hits 80,
75.
Yeah, 70. So yeah.
Yeah, but what about what's her name? France Wynn.
When I saw the recent picture, I disqualified her. I was looking at an old picture, So
You were still looking at a picture from her when she was 80. You probably do.
No,
Betty.
she was in her 70s.
Would you have done?
I'm pretty sure my cutoff line is 80.
Would you have done Betty White just before she died?
The fact that I have to pause and think about it is terrible. So I'm just
yes,
gonna say
it
no.
is.
I'm just
No. The fact that you paused and thought about it means yes.
You know what's actually really bad is how many people will never admit that they are going to pause when asked that exact question.
I mean, because she had a lot of personality. She had a lot of personality.
She did. She was. I did you see her at the William Shatner roast?
Oh yeah,
she was deadly.
Yeah,
it's on fire.
Oh, it's true. I had sex with William Shatner,
look at that.
And he was.
Ariel says she would. She says, in fact, I would just because it's Betty White. Thank you, Ariel, for backing me up.
You do have that. But no, I remember she said, I had sex with William Shatner, and he was grunting and groaning and sweating everywhere. And then I said, Bill, your roast is going to start in 5 minutes. We need to get to it.
She was feisty, Cerstus.
Yes.
She definitely was.
Yeah.
So, you forgot the E, but I'll forgive you. I knew what you meant.
Yeah, but so it's clear that Danny would have sex with a 99-year-old.
Come on, guys, in my chat, hit the thumbs up for me. Come on.
So
show a little class. We got 30 people watching us right now, 31 people watching us right now. Thank you all for being here and joining us, putting up with our little shenanigans. 2.5 hours in, and I think we're only about 45 minutes into the movie.
We're 32 minutes.
32. Oh my God.
I'm trying to go fast, but you won't shut up. All right, so the threat happens. The blood.
Dear
drops.
God, man, let me try to save him.
Yeah. Oh, there's a shot. Yeah, Klingon guts.
Yeah. Pepto-Bismol on full display.
Right?
Danny's all into them guts.
Oh, no. Don't let it in this way.
Yeah. So then we meet up back on the bridge, and they're like, "Oh crap, what just happened?"
Oh, thank you, Ariel. You're so sweet. Now open the description and hit on that donate link while you're at it. So, just kidding.
Danny?
I'm just doing that.
Do I need to remove you from here?
No, sir. Sorry.
He's just making up for being away for a little bit.
No,
Yeah.
I think I said
These
this.
are jokes, man. These are jokes.
When we watched the show, I think
sweetheart.
I mentioned this. This is one of those things.
Did you see Goku attack me? I think he's getting jealous.
Anyway, one of the things that really bugged me is that in the earlier scene when Kirk was leaving the bridge and Spock slipped the Viridian patch on him. On the one hand, it's cool that we actually see it there long before Kirk mentions it later in the movie, kind of like the Klingon blood.
Right.
However, Does Spock just walk around with a Viridian patch in his hand just in case he needs to slap it on Kirk's
You said
back?
this when we watched the show. Yeah, you did bring that up. And you know what? I got nothing for you. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, where did it come from? Because they don't have pockets, so he had to be holding it in his hand that whole time. And he's like, I guess I'm gonna have to slap this on Kirk. Let me uncharacteristically touch his shoulder and see if he notices.
Especially after the last movie, he was like, "Please, Captain, not in front of the Klingons."
Yeah. Do you really have to mention that movie? So then we get the ambassador back,
which, by the way, I have to say, just for a second, the Viridium patch looks suspiciously like a slice of Brillo pat.
Yeah. Share with the audience, Jason, what you shared with us about this fine gentleman here and nepotism. You remember what you told us about this guy?
Was it this guy?
Yeah, wasn't it this guy? No, I thought you said this guy was married to Leonard Nimoy's ex-wife, right?
Yeah. And then on top of it, I ended up finding out that Bibi Besh, who played David's mother,
Carol Marcus,
Marcus, is the mother of this movie cameo appearance person,
Christian
Slater's ex-girlfriend, who at the time of this was girlfriend.
And was in another movie with
him. A couple of movies with him, actually. So Slater's girlfriend is Bibi Besh's mother at this point when they're making this movie.
So if you guys want more useless trivia factoids like this, go to supportsalty.com and watch our episode where we do our watch along with this.
You should introduce Nermal to Danny's cats, because then that would be an interesting fight.
She's being uncharacteristically sweet today. This is weird.
You sound like you're going to cry just because your cat.
She's never done this.
So she's a cat.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then we get this guy, Romulan butthead.
No, it's 6 degrees of separation, Ariel, is what it's called.
But 6 degrees of bacon, though, is because everybody's related.
No, 6 degrees of separation was first, and they brought
then they did 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is what they called it, because
everybody's related to Kevin Bacon.
Well, no, like everybody's acted with him no matter what, or something like that.
I'm probably within 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon, just living here in Vegas and all the people I've met and the events I've done.
Well, actually, I was thinking about this. I know, hello tangent, but I was thinking about this the other day. And now here's a crazy, wild tangent as far as shrinking the 6 degrees of separation, considering how many people there are on Earth. My wife's cousin was a senior officer in the Canadian Armed Forces and worked in the Pentagon.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
So think and as like
so what you're saying is that you stole government secrets and sold them to the Russians.
There's a leap. Anyway, so but think about how fast that accelerates that 6 degrees of separation.
Some jamoke on Twitter who I don't follow and doesn't follow me. His name is Attractive Male at Mr. Huckleby. He replied to the tweet promoting the stream.
Oh, is that the one I saw that was I know more about 6 than you guys will or whatever?
I've forgotten more about Star Trek 6 than y'all will know to begin with. F you, guy. You're going to talk shit, at least follow me. Wow.
Yeah. Or come into the chat and try
or come in the chat.
Yeah.
You know? That sounded dirtier than I meant.
It's probably Darren Wagner. All right, so and
sock
Mercer,
puppet again.
Yes, Mercer. No, I don't. I'm not hosting open panel discussions for right now because things have just gotten too crazy on them, and I can't handle it. And when it's not fun for me, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, what's the point if it's not fun? You know.
All right, so.
Although I did get invited, I don't know if you remember that guy Blaine. Recommended me to Chainsaw Reacts. Do you remember?
Yeah. I remember.
They invited me. I'll be on their show April 3rd.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'll send you guys.
By the way, when are you going to get Blaine back with us? He was on the Salty Nerds again recently. So you need to.
I did just get out of rehab. I'll reach out to him.
Yeah. We need to get him back.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, we can talk about Generations together. So think about what a horrible movie that is.
Yeah, remember he said he's not really a big Trek guy, so I was, you know.
Well, then tell him, hey, pick a movie and we'll all watch it.
Yeah, okay. I'll hit him up.
So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it is Nerd Fights, not Trek Fights.
Yeah.
So
here we see the beginnings of the change of the Klingon attitude as well. You know, like where she says war is obsolete as we are in danger of becoming. So the Klingons are beginning to realize that maybe, you know, not being enemies of the Federation would be a good idea.
Yeah. Probably.
And then that's what the response from the traditionalist Klingon. That's why these movies are a little like they think that the conservatives are like, yes, die. Notice that Spock even says, lest more conservative elements decide that it is better for them to die fighting, you know. You know, if this were made today.
Oh, you skipped over the most dickish line Shang
that?
says, where he's like,
"Oh, your father died for what?"
Yeah. That was like,
yeah.
bro, he just died yesterday. That's kind of, come on, that's a little too soon. That's a little dickish.
So Kirk and McCoy go to trial, and Worf defends him.
No, that's Worf's great grandpappy.
No, his name is Worf, though.
yeah,
No,
no,
that's
well,
because, but it's not the same Worf. It's you know,
But his name is Worf.
fair enough.
is it Worf?
Yes,
It is. Yeah.
Colonel Worf.
Oh, that's right. They say
It's
it
his
that way.
great
That's
great
right.
grandpappy.
No, it's his.
No,
Great great grandpappy.
No, it's his
Or is it
grandfather.
just his great?
It's his grandfather.
It's
Just his grandfather?
Yeah.
Yeah, because his dad.
So he
Moog.
is Moog's father.
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah.
I thought it was further back than that. That can't be.
No. Because remember, it's only like 80 years, right?
Research
between-
department.
It
Trust
is.
but
It's
verify.
only You have Worf, Moog, and then Worf again.
Okay. All right. Super chats.
Grand Admiral Kevin Bacon, I think it says.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Klingons being enemies of the Federation? Nope. Being enemies of the Dominion. You got it.
Look,
I read it as it was written.
Yes.
So.
I think the Klingons were best as the villains. I do. I love the Klingons in the first 6 movies. I'm not.
And then they got neutered in TNG.
Yeah. The Klingons in TNG have no teeth, and they're like because they're always like, "Let's fight." No, don't fight. Okay, you know, and that's like even like look at the first episode of TNG. I am a Klingon, sir. I will go into bat. Shut up, Worf. Okay.
If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand.
Yeah, if he meant it, he should have punched him. You know, if he's a real Klingon, you know, it's like.
And yes, by the way, according to Memory Alpha, the original promotional material, so it never made it to screen, so it doesn't technically count as canon.
Right, but they did say
It's straight up. He is supposed to be Worf, father of Moog,
Okay, so he's just his,
Worf.
just his grandpappy, not his great grandpappy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Moog was son of Worf, and Worf was son of Moog.
Yeah.
Yes. Man, that's kind of like my cousin's also my dad or some kind of weird shit, you know.
Yeah. It's like.
But you know, it could be just a family tradition where because Worf was named after his grandfather. It's possible that Colonel Worf's father was also Moog. You know, they might have just like done an alternating thing.
So, I just got a confirmation text reminder for you guys as well. Thursday, March 28th, I have a doctor's appointment at 2:15, so we should definitely start the show at 3:30 or 4 that day because the doctor.
You do know when you say 3:30 or 4, to me that's starting the show early.
No, my time, so that would be
Yeah. So say it in
4 or
my
5.
time.
So 5:30 or 6.
You got to say it in real time,
Gotcha.
not in pretend time.
All times pretend we made it up.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we just changed the time for crying out loud.
I'm okay. I knew what time he was talking about.
See? Yeah, it's fine.
That's
I'm adding it
because
to my calendar if you're wondering.
So don't wait for the translation. Answer.
Don't
me
wait
now.
for the translation. Answer me now. Oh, that didn't happen yet.
Yeah, but
I believe you consumed rather generous portions of Romulan ale. We all did.
yeah. See, and that was the wrong answer from McCoy.
Yeah.
Because he's like, yeah, I was drunk.
Yeah, but I did love how they also wrote it in so that, he gets clipped with the you have a singular wit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was like, aside from a touch of arthritis, I said.
I think Chang's most vicious line in the movie, though, is like, no, you were incompetent. That was like, ooh, that cut deep.
Yeah.
To call a doctor incompetent is just
competent.
Yeah. That was brutal. That was absolutely brutal. And Mercer is saying freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Well, that's not in this. That's a TNG kind of thing. Or actually, they do talk about that in TOS. But then Spock retorts with, every society has a right to choose their own way of governance. Because they were arguing over whether or not the servants of Vol should be left alone. Because Spock felt like they shouldn't interfere. Because the people, as he said, were healthy and happy. But they didn't have freedom. Anyway, so, I like that shot of Cartwright there. He's just like not happy. And so then back on the Enterprise, Spock is sitting in the most comfortable looking captain's chair in all of Star Trek. I want that chair. That looks like, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the least cool looking one, though. So do you want substance or style? I guess you want substance. That's fine.
Yes. I'm more of a substance guy.
Then why do you like Dune 2? Because it's all style and no substance.
Dude, what are you talking about? Dune 2 was freaking awesome. Shut up.
You know why? You know why that bothers him so much? Because I struck a nerve. Because deep down inside,
because Dune 2 is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It is substantive. It's actually, it gets into and explains things that David Lynch's film doesn't even touch.
Hey, why do you don't have to lower one to raise the other. Come on now.
No, but I'm saying that, like, and I understand David Lynch was limited on time, even with his 4-hour cut.
Is that like a children thing? I love them for different reasons.
Yeah, there you go.
And yes, Mercer, I will let you know if we ever do another open panel, but it's probably not going to be for a while.
Sweet effing Christ, man. Just if you really want to do a show so bad, why don't you just pitch something to them, and instead of being open, we'll have you on for something specific. I saw somebody else said the same, wanted to join. Lancer said the same thing. So maybe you and Lancer and come up with an idea, pitch it. If he likes it, he'll do it. But open panels are no bueno for now because people don't know how to damn behave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you end up with 5 people all trying to talk at the same time. And when you say, hey, guys, stop, they just keep going. And so, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and try to herd cats. As fun as that might be. Anyway, so Spock and the rest are still trying to piece together what the heck happened. And, of course, they figure out that it must have been. And notice, actually, right here when he said it, when they're saying there was a neutron surge would be created by another ship, and then they said, but if there was a ship underneath us, Cronus One would have seen us. And Spock says, would they? And they immediately go to what?
A cloaked ship.
No, that's not what she says. She says specifically a bird of prey.
Oh,
yeah.
Because she goes, a bird of prey, and then Spock's like, a bird of prey.
Yeah, because it'd be small and its cloak would be.
But the suggestion there, I think, is that only birds of prey can cloak.
Yeah, probably. I could see it. Yeah.
Because why else would you? Because he didn't say, well, the ship was so small.
What class of ship was it when? Oh gosh, what was the name of that episode where Kirk got the little pointy ears and pretended to be?
That was the Enterprise. That was the Enterprise.
The Enterprise incident.
Those were.
What ship was that?
Those were D7s, but they were Romulan D7s, not Klingon D7s.
Yeah, and the Romulans are smarter than the Klingons. At least that's what the Romulans would like to have you believe.
Well, they're definitely more.
I'm pretty sure the Romulans are. I mean, if
cunning.
If the Romulans are the bad guy equivalent of the Vulcans, they are smarter.
Well, the Trek reviewer, I always get upset for whatever reason when we watch these. Salty never gives us the damn director's cut or extended version.
That's not true. We watched the director's cut of TMP. So
that's the only one. That's the only one.
There's only 3 director's cuts movies.
Yeah.
So that's a third of them.
This one and you're funny. That's a third of. Okay, you know what? Never mind. Fine. No, this is not the one with Odo in it.
Yeah. Yeah, Colonel West was cut out of the theater.
Quite frankly, sir, we'll clean their chronometers.
Yeah. And I can kind of understand why that scene was cut, because while Starfleet is definitely the military, Colonel West did feel a little on the nose there as far as, yeah, I'm the colonel, and I'm, it's like, colonel of what? Everything is Navy rank. Why is he a colonel? And he's got a Starfleet uniform. So if he had a different kind of uniform and he was called Colonel West, okay. But why would a Starfleet officer have the rank of colonel?
Maybe he's what's left of the Makos?
But then he should have been wearing a Mako uniform.
I don't know. Can tell the implication from funny voice making?
Yeah. Brain not fired?
Don't know.
You kind of have the look of Valeris.
Ideas.
Ship out of danger.
The same look as it's on Valeris's face right there. Like, what? That doesn't work. All right. So meanwhile, they need to mine the spice on the ice planet because it's the opposite of Arrakis. Get it?
Oh, you know what? I didn't get to see the Kung Fu Panda. They didn't play that commercial or the trailer.
Oh, the Kung Fu Panda spice trailer?
Yeah, I would. I was actually looking forward to that. And I didn't.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it sounded funny, but they didn't do that one.
All right, so welcome to the Gulag Rurapente. There is no guard tower, no electronic frontier.
Welcome to not the Siberian deserts.
Yes.
I swear it's not Siberia. It's Siberia.
Yes, you might. It's very nice.
So then we get the very nice looking Iman.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. Very nice.
I gotta say, David Bowie, you punched out of your weight class with that. That is,
Amen.
Yeah. But yeah, so Iman, who is a shapeshifter, as we'll find out later. And then now while they're looking for gravity boots on the Enterprise, we get to actually see the kitchen. Or the galley, I should say.
I wonder what the Supreme Court of Canada would require us to refer to Iman's character as.
Non-binary. She is,
right.
But you see,
gender fluid.
Well, species and age.
Yeah. Actually, here's the funny thing. Gender fluid should apply to the founders because they are literally fluid.
That is their actual gender, yes.
Yeah, so they actually are gender fluid when they're in their natural state. So
that's awesome.
There you go. Gender fluid is that.
Yeah,
I hate people that say, "Well, I'm gender fluid because right now I feel like a man, but in 20 minutes I might feel like a girl." And it's like, no, you're just an idiot. I'm sorry. Everybody has different moods. Everybody has different ways to feel through a day. It doesn't mean your gender literally changes.
No.
I'm sorry. I know that YouTube and stuff doesn't like when I say that, but it's true.
Well, just because Mike likes to bag on Danny with the tampon joke doesn't mean that they're applicable.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting that Danny is actually a female. Right? Because unfortunately I've seen that he is male. So I have actually seen the fact that he is male. Thank you very much.
When I get to 8 in the book, I will be calling you to personally make amends for that. So
when you get to 8 in the book,
8 is when.
That's where you're supposed to make amends to people that you've.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Step 8 is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Of the 12-step program.
Yeah.
But so I do know for a fact that Danny is male.
So Ariel, you're just now realizing that yes, that David Bowie.
Yeah, David
was married
Bowie
to Amon.
David Bowie and Amon were a thing, and that's why I said David Bowie. Look, David Bowie's a big star and everything, but wow, she is way better looking. Way better looking.
Oh yeah, he was swinging for the fences, man.
Yeah, he got very, very lucky. And Ben One Eye is now defending the whole sex, not gender thing. No, you know what? I'll just simply say this. If gender literally means any way you feel, then the word means nothing. Because if you want to suggest there's 17 billion genders or whatever, because anybody can identify as whatever gender, then the word is meaningless. The word has no meaning, so let's just throw it out and just go by sex.
Yeah.
And sex is a binary. As much as people don't, it simply is. You are male or female. And for people to say, but what about intersex people? Look, and this is the
What
best.
the F is an intersex? What?
It's a person that actually has a chromosomal problem.
Yeah, you actually have a genetic disorder that causes you to be born with most or entirely of everything.
Yeah.
So like a hermaphrodite?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But here's the problem with trying to use intersex as your defense to that. And I heard this, and it's a brilliant analogy, and I never thought about it. A person.
Hey, thanks to all 34 of you still hanging out with us. Like almost 3 hours.
Yeah. But a person might be born with a birth defect where they only have one arm. Right? Do we now say that arms are on a spectrum? Or do we say that that person has a defect? No, human beings still have two arms. That person doesn't. But human beings have two arms, And so and I think that's a good analogy, because just because someone is born with a birth defect or an abnormality doesn't mean it's not just a birth defect or an abnormality. It's not another gender. It's a person with an abnormality.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Anyway.
Let's get back to it. Because Spock is talking to Valeris about her pronouns. And, so she gets mad and fires a phaser in the galley there.
Because apparently the backup armory is the galley.
Yeah. Because
I agree. I still agree with my own self.
It's not an armory. There's 4 phasers
I know.
there.
I still agree with myself. And my theory pushback on Mike is the galley includes food, and survival includes food, and the fallback position is going to be the galley in an emergency. So why not have weapons?
And what's the first order of survival?
Yeah,
wait
from Star Trek
but
2.
4 phasers? There's more than 4 people that work in the galley there. What happens when 4 of them decide they're going to take over? And so they grab the only 4 phasers.
They have an evolved sensibility in the future.
Yes.
No, that's not until next gen time.
I know, but it's from your one of your most hated movies. That's why I brought it up.
Human beings have evolved beyond the need for asses. I think Picard said something like that. So yeah, she blasts the cooking pot right here, and which by the way,
good pause. Good pause.
I do like the visual effects here. I think the phaser blast looks great. I think that everything here is awesome, but it makes no effing sense that the dough and the whisk did not get vaporized. That makes
okay. You know what?
If they shoot you, your bones don't stay.
Okay. If they shoot you, why isn't it just your clothes that come off then? If they shoot you, why doesn't everything that you're touching also go away? Because I don't know, you have underwear that blocks your skin from the suit, and then the suit. We could go down a rabbit hole forever. So a phaser, if you shoot somebody, the planet they're standing on goes away.
No, come on. A hand phaser doesn't have enough power to destroy a planet.
Okay. Either way, though, you don't want to. Yeah, let's just put it this way.
But I would just say that
this is a sweater for which it will not survive when you pull on the thread. It will go away quickly.
Security's about to show up, and Chekhov tells them to politely F off. So it's coming.
Yeah, but don't worry. The communications officer and the chief engineer also come running in.
No, but that's because they were already on the way.
They were on their way. Like we talked about this. But not
Scotty, though.
Uhura was already on her way.
Why can't you say her freaking name?
Yeah.
I can only never say.
Why
are you calling her a whore? Ooh. I'm going to have to smack you,
It's
man.
Whore.
First I'll lead with tired. Second, I'll lead with I've lost the ability to say it when we're live, and I don't know why.
Dude can't even say the word wolf correctly. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
And poutine and Putin are the same thing.
Right?
Hey, say this. I would really like to see Putin eat poutine.
Do you want me to say it with the proper inflection or one that you can understand the difference?
We just want to see if you can say it.
The way you would say it.
Super chat.
Well, who's this from? I can't quite read it.
Cadet Matthew the Avocadoid.
Okay.
That mother effer vaporized my potato bowl mixer. Spelled potato wrong. There's no E, Mr. Quail. There's no E at the end of
potato.
Wow.
Well, it depends. It could be Samwise Gamgee having a fit. And taters, potatoes.
Stanley, Jason is watching Airwolf tonight.
Yeah. That's good.
It is Planet X.
Yeah, Uhura is a real Swahili name. I can't remember. It means something like freedom or beauty or something like that. I can't remember exactly what, but it is an actual word.
Airwolf.
Yeah. So when I say, I hear Putin likes poutine, just the way you would say it.
Yeah, man.
Sure. Putin.
Say it.
Putin likes Putin.
Yeah, Putin likes poutine.
Okay. What we have learned today is there's no way in hell Mike would ever be able to learn Chinese because of all the variations in the pronunciations.
No, I'd say that Putin and poutine are the same
They're
word.
not.
Putin and poutine.
Not.
Okay. We're approaching the 3-hour mark. Let's.
You're just adding. You know what? The only difference is you're not saying the T in one.
I forgot.
That's the only difference.
Oh, in here.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Anyway.
Yeah, uhura is the Swahili word uhuru, which means freedom.
Freedom!
Yeah, so.
All right. So.
Since our research department couldn't find it.
I wasn't looking.
Yeah, of course. Instead, you were trying to defend a phaser that has the ability to vaporize your outfit without hurting you. I think it's called the stripper phaser. So then they explained that the alarm would go off and that's why Uhura comes a running, because whenever there's an active shooter on the ship, all the main officers want to run into the fire. That's just the way they do it, folks.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. So meanwhile, on planet not Arrakis, Kirk is getting his butt kicked by a giant alien with balls on his knees, apparently, because he kicks the alien in the knees, and
they needed
there. You can see it right there's his balls right there.
They look only on one knee, though. If you notice,
well, that's because the other pant is not torn. That's just
I think too. This might have been like a slight against Shatner's inability to tell funny dad jokes in the previous movie.
Hey, speaking of funny dad jokes, you guys know how The Rock pees?
How?
He Dwayne's his Johnson. Dad joke, told you.
Oh my.
That's really bad. But here's one that's worse. What is the definition of the word thorny?
I don't know. What?
A thaler at thee.
A what? What'd you say?
A thaler at thee.
Oh. That's funny. Okay.
So, because it's not thorny.
Yes. It's yeah, I get you. Yeah.
All right. So why are we even today is weird.
I missed this.
I'm laughing at you, not with you. Well, sure. All right. So after Kirk punches him in the nuts, that makes Iman like him, and so we do get the best joke in here when McCoy's whole reaction to Iman's attraction to Kirk, when McCoy's just like, in his bunk.
What is it with you? I love that line because it's called back all the way to the original series. Yeah. What is it with you anyway? Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's your favorite part.
Christian Slater.
Christian Slater, who should have been in the Sulu series.
Yeah.
But unfortunately there was no Sulu series. But that would have been awesome, don't you think? Because Christian Slater and he would have done it.
Oh yeah.
He probably would have actually ended up having a much longer, more fulfilling career than what he ended up with.
Yeah. Sadly. Yeah. And if nothing else, he'd always have the backup plan of convention money, but he's got none of that now.
No.
All right, so and Chief Cook didn't like my Thaler at Thee joke for some reason, maybe because he's a Navy guy.
Or maybe he speaks with a lisp also. Who knows?
Well, no, he probably is rather thorny right now. But all right. Oh, look, somebody's giving someone the finger, and there's
the blood.
Yeah, Chekhov finds the blood, and so they decide they need to start searching uniforms for the blood. The problem with that is, are you telling me 23rd century laundry wouldn't get out a little Klingon blood?
Just sold this bad boy on eBay just now. Right on.
What is it?
It looks like a Batman.
Zombie Batman.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
How much you get for him?
Well, I sold it for 60, but PayPal only deposited like 48 and some change in the bank. So, fees and stuff.
Stupid fees.
I know.
Which is why you should give me all your money.
But yes, the laundry thing is definitely one of those comedies.
Yeah, I don't get that, because are you telling me they don't have laundry on the ship, that everybody just has to wear funky, dirty uniforms until they get back to space dock?
Well, and in a world with sonic showers, you'd think they'd have something equally effective as to laundry,
right?
Yeah, so that makes the laundry thing makes no sense. The gravity boots I can kind of understand, because you might be able to suggest, well, you don't have anything specifically to clean the gravity boots, and if you tried to scrape off any paint or anything, you would, or any blood, there would still be microscopic residue. However, they were just looking for 2 pairs of gravity boots because apparently they don't keep any on the ship.
Apparently, I say laundry weird.
You say everything weird.
Yeah, well, I'm Canadian. Sue me.
Yeah. So then we go back to not Arrakis, where everybody's mining for dilithium, and they find out that Iman is a shapeshifter. She goes down into the tunnels, and then they come out the other side and find dead people, and then their stunt doubles go for a walk in Alaska. And Planet X wants to know, is it true that Sulu was captain of the Excelsior for over 30 years? There's no alpha canon as to how long Sulu was captain of the Excelsior, so we don't really know.
Yeah.
This is the last time we ever see Sulu, and he's captain of the Excelsior. Yeah.
No, they still use dilithium in all their ships and sell it to their friends and neighbors.
Yeah. Even worse. The total amount of money I got, $67.60. The total deposit they gave me, $49.12. That just seems like excessive. Those seem like excessive fees.
Is that including shipping?
That's including tax, shipping, and their fee.
Yeah. It's how much is the shipping?
I do not know.
That's probably a good chunk of it.
Let me check.
Because I don't think the eBay fees are unreasonable. I've sold stuff on eBay. But the shipping costs can be a bit.
The shipping cost me $8.52. So $8.52.
So you had 50. That would take you up to 58. That's almost 60 right there. And then you have whatever your taxes are, a couple of bucks. That will get you up to 60 easy. So the eBay fee wasn't that much.
So it was like an $8 eBay fee. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Which on a $60 sale, Yeah. All right. So. Anyway, meanwhile, back on the Enterprise, they're still looking. Meanwhile, back on the ice planet, they're still freezing. And then we get our scene of Klingon translation with this guy. And now, what did you guys think of my theory as far as why Uhura couldn't?
I'd never thought about it, and I think it's probably the best one.
Yeah.
And it makes it's the most workable.
I know. Yeah, you said it on when we watched the show.
Yeah. So,
No. Don't give us away for free. We've given away too much for free. Go to supportsalty.com.
So you want to know my incredibly detailed and perfect explanation as to why Uhura does not speak Klingon in this scene.
Go to supportsalty.com.
And she has to say, Rora Pentata.
We've given you too much for free.
All right, so then Kirk and Iman start fighting when Iman turns into Kirk and has the little jab at William.
Oh my God, sorry. Excuse me. Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, next time mute, dude. That was
I apologize. I'm sorry.
I like that McCoy looks like an angel right there. Look at that.
Yeah, the big cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spread out like wings.
Yeah.
So Kirk and Shapeshifter Kirk start duking it out. And I do like the little jab at William Shatner where he's like, I can't believe I kissed you. Must have been your lifelong ambition. Ba-dum-bum.
Must have been your lifelong ambition.
And then Kirk fakes out. And this was very cleverly cut in the trailer to where you think... Yeah.
Why didn't the dumb bee switch back into her other form?
So if you look in the trailer, the second Kirk is not in this shot.
Yes.
And that's and so that is to give the implication that Kirk is killed. And I think they say something like this is the final voyage or something like that just before this happens. By the way, come on, credit for the perfect pause there.
Yeah, that actually was pretty dang.
Yeah, it was a perfect pause. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Iman Kirk is gone. And track review, yes, we did see Sulu in the Voyager episode Flashback, but that episode was so terrible that I forgot about it. Also in that, apparently Tuvok was a member of the crew of the Excelsior, even though we never see him on the Excelsior.
Oh, the dangers of doing prequel stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They should have gotten Christian Slater to do a cameo in that episode. That would have.
He could have. I'm sure he could have used the money because what the hell's he been in lately?
So at that point, he'd actually still been in a few movies, but just the same.
Yeah. So Scotty finds Santo and whatever the other guys' uniforms, and meanwhile, Chang finds out that Kirk escaped Rapente. Which, it's kind of funny. That means for the rest of his life, Kirk is actually a wanted fugitive from the Klingon Empire. Because he legitimately broke out of jail.
Yeah, but then he the end of the movie happened, so I'm sure they dropped everything.
They should have actually what happened right after the credits is they showed up and arrested him. So.
That would be the way they would end it if it was an episode of Lower Decks.
Yeah, right.
They'd show back up and they'd take the ensigns off and throw them back in the their 24 hours or something.
So they find the dead bodies of the two officers that the uniforms belong to, and they're like, why didn't it set off the alarm? Well, because or why didn't they vaporize them? Because it would set off the alarm. And it's like, who would have thought of that? Maybe the person that demonstrated how the alarm works earlier. Hint, 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 hint.
Yeah, but that's also one of those, like I'd said, she was desperately trying to make it look like she was on the side of the angels.
Where'd that whistling come from?
That was me. So I know I said I have all the time in the world, but now that I sold something, I'd like to get it shipped out today. So
let's shut up then.
That's right. Yeah, we're almost at the end.
Yeah, we're getting there. But yeah, so I will tell you, when I first saw this movie, I knew it was Valeris as soon as that line was said.
Super Chad.
And what is it? Grand Admiral something? I can't.
Teshik.
Okay.
I love the hypothetical.
Well,
How
well-
would things change if they did really kill Kirk? What would the changeling do if it escaped with bones? Dun dun dun.
That is interesting because actually, would the
Although
changeling-
it wouldn't have because it didn't have the Viridium patch on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So-
so in fact, yeah. So if Kirk had been killed, chances are the only thing they could do would be to beam everybody up. And
That would have been a circus.
yeah. But
Well, hey, they would have got the answer from One Eye.
right, but that means that in all
From
probability,
One Eye.
McCoy would have been dead because remember they were firing their phasers at them when they started to energize.
Yeah, it would have been a bad scene.
Yeah. So a lot of people would have died. I think that ultimately, because Spock, I think, would have figured out that Valeris was behind it, and they still would have stopped the assassination. But I think that a lot of people would be dead, including Kirk and McCoy and anybody who was in the transporter room at the time that they beamed up. And then now here's the dumbest uniforms in all of Trek right here. These what the heck is that?
That would be a like Buck Rogers,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Those stupid
Looking-
the shoulders on these uniforms.
those
Like,
weird embellishment thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
if you just made the shoulder pieces flat instead of that puffy Jetsons like material, then these uniforms would be fine.
Yeah.
And you just say, okay, so that's what the galley staff.
Well,
wear.
and what makes it worse is especially poor dude on the right, who's like manly man with like a decent stash and everything, and here he is wearing this like floofed shoulder thing.
yeah.
Floofity floof.
And yeah,
Hey,
Planet X,
I mean,
I get
there
that
were-
that's the concierge uniform, but I think that the shoulder thing ruins it. I just think they look really dumb.
Hey, at least he's not wearing a skirt like that one dude in TNG. You know.
Well, hey, are you being gender oppressive?
They
now?
made
Oh,
such.
Jesus.
If you go back and watch the promotional material for when they launched the show, they made such a big deal about that.
Like they were so progressive.
Yeah.
And I said it myself. If you're so progressive, make one of the main characters a transvestite. If you're that progressive, come on. Let's see. Why is it Riker wearing a dress?
Okay, that's why we got Discovery. Don't say
Well,
stuff
I was
like
gonna.
that.
Well, also MASH beat them all to the punch anyway. So
Yeah,
they can
Yeah,
all
well,
shut up.
but Klinger was just doing it to try.
I
to get,
know, but the fact still remains that fundamentally, that show
Well,
beats everybody.
Yeah.
No, because the original series, the very first episode of the original series, had a non-binary character with the salt monster, and the last episode of the original series literally had a man trapped in a woman's body.
For a period of time.
Yes, but it was actually a man trapped in a woman's body.
But it was shtick for the episode, so
So
I want it to be like seriously serious. So
shtick for the episode. It wasn't a joke that he was trapped in her body. It was a serious problem.
sure, but I'm just saying it was what drove the episode.
Yeah. So again, the entire cast is standing in proper formation. Like, why does Scotty need to be on the bridge for the interrogation?
No. I love the fact that like enlisted officer, whatever her name is, over Kirk's left shoulder,
Yeah.
is standing like almost at perfect attention.
Yes. Well, everybody is except for Scotty and Spock and McCoy.
For those that are standing, yes.
Yeah. And it's like, why are you guys so relaxed when everybody else is standing at attention like, oh, this is some serious stuff? And so
Well, dramatic scene is dramatic, including the flanking people here. Like
Yeah.
everybody's like,
yeah.
it's almost as though it's almost like the bridge is
They
going to
look
be
like
like that
mannequins, to be honest.
that cage thing now that they use in WWE, Danny. And it's like if she moves funny, then everybody's going to come running in from the
tell me-
corners and
hold on
just
a-
beat the crap out of
Hold on a
Valeris.
second. I think the two on the right are mannequins. I can't be sure on the left, but they actually
Let me go look. It would look funnier things could have happened. Oh, it's being dumb.
It's hard to tell.
I'll fast forward through here and see. Just keep on going.
Yeah.
Oh, the girl could easily be, and I'll check for proof of life.
Yeah.
Hold a mirror under her nose.
It wouldn't be the first time they put dummies in place of actual humans.
No. So yeah, so Spock's about to mind.
Yeah. So Kirk
Lockley.
orders. Yeah. So Kirk orders Spock to rape Valeris.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, and that, I gotta say, this is a brutal scene. And I remember, man, I was so upset because when I was in the theater seeing this on Thursday night, there was when Spock started mind melding with her and forcing her to remember, the guy was like, yeah, you get her. And I was like, dude, that's wrong. That just, what he's doing is a complete violation.
Yeah, if you really let that scene wash over you fully, it's pretty. Yeah, and Kim Cattrall really sells it too.
Yeah. So, and even when she starts screaming, and everybody in the room starts kind of wincing, but Kirk is like, "No, I want that info," So then he talks to Sulu, and then he talks to Spock because they're old. And it's like, you realize, like, yeah.
I love this is the everyone's human thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what, Spock? Everyone's human. I find that remark insulting. Yes.
That's why when I was always confused when I was a kid, because when I watched Wrath of Khan with my mom, one of the first viewings of it, and Kirk was like, of all the souls I've encountered in my travels, his was the most human. My mom was like, well, way to go. Just insult your best friend at his funeral. I was like,
I know.
Yeah. But now I get it. But like, I was so confused when I was a kid when she said that. Anyway.
So then, President Dumbass is giving a speech. And the Enterprise...
He's not the dumbass. He just says dumbass.
Yeah, he just says dumbass.
A few years later, he gets to say it a lot.
Yeah.
So then,
I am as constant as the northern
yeah, the Enterprise
star.
And did they ever? I don't think they ever named Chang's ship.
Nah,
it's just
Kronos 1.
Well,
Kronos 1 is the other ship.
Yeah, that was the big ship.
As a bird. That was
you're talking about the bird of prey. Sorry,
the bird of prey is what we're talking about.
Let me go see.
And Kronos 1 would just be the designation for any ship that the Chancellor was on. That's like Air Force 1.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Enterprise and whatever the bird of prey is start fighting while the speeches are going on. Here's the worst visual effects shot of the Enterprise in all of the first 6 movies.
I think this is because this is actually CG, is it not?
No, I think it's practical, but I think the problem is just look at the lighting on this.
Yeah, but that's why I think it could be CG, because they still would have been far from being able to do lighting properly in CG.
Yeah, you might be right. Because there's some weird artifacts here.
Yeah, and there's some it's strangely perfect in a way in certain areas that doesn't make sense. Like it just kind of it's lacking a level of organic.
Yeah. So I don't like this shot of the Enterprise, but they might have been just trying to experiment with CG. But I do love Chang in this scene. He chews the scenery with great vigor. And so and I also like the effect here that the bird of prey becomes slightly visible from the glow of the photon torpedo.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
Yeah. Which again, awesome pause right there, but and then the Excelsior joins the fight. And let me say, this movie makes the Excelsior look good.
It's a beautiful ship. It really
but
is.
It wasn't a beautiful ship in Star Trek 3, in my opinion. I hated it.
There were weird little things about the ship design that just, for whatever reason, that or the shooting model just wasn't fully perfected. But I don't know. I really enjoy this Excelsior in particular.
Yeah. And so I would have loved to. That's why I wanted to see that Sulu series.
As a quick side note, did this I know they repurposed this model later for Generations, but did they not use the shooting model for this movie for some of the shots that we did end up having in other
I think the
TNG
next gen,
episodes?
I think the reason that in TNG we saw a bunch of Excelsior ships in the first couple of seasons is because they had this model.
Okay.
So it's the only other high quality shooting model they had at the time. And bam! Oh, there was Tuvok. Did you see him flying by there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
It was blurry, so you couldn't for sure know.
Yeah. So then we get the shot right there. That's perfect.
Crap.
Yeah,
To be or not.
Not
To be.
That would be a big old fat not to be, buddy.
And then we get the recycled shot, which really pisses me off that they ruined this shot by reusing it in the next movie. It'd be one thing if you reused it like 3, 4, 5 movies from now. But to use this shot in the next movie is really jacked up.
Well, the bad part is it got used, abusively. I know you just said that it got used a lot, but like it actually got used abusively, really. I mean, I know I was saying earlier it's cool that Star Trek has managed to, do as much as they can with as little as they have whenever possible. But there's some stuff it's like, oh, come on, guys.
Target that explosion and fire.
Fire!
I mean, that seems so unfair right there.
Super chat.
So who's this one from Grand Admiral something?
Marcio.
Or Marito.
Martio or something. Anyway, as a fan of cloaked ships like the TIE Phantom, I have learned Chang's ship has had 3 names. Dokran, Ixcladius, and Ixguma. I hope my Klingon pronunciation is on point.
IKS, but yeah.
Yeah, but
just IKS. Okay.
IKS, yeah, that's
Imperial Klingon
ship.
Something.
You know what? The problem is none of those names are canonized. Mm-hmm. Like, there might be stuff that you can find online that says this is what the name of the ship was, but they never actually say the name of the ship. But I'm talking about this shot right here. The fact that they reuse this shot in the next movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, right away. Yeah,
it's not.
Whoa! You're saying this shot was recycled or gets recycled?
This gets recycled immediately into generations when they kill the sisters.
They kill the sisters.
They use this exact same shot.
Hey man, Star Trek's always been about recycling, bro. You know that?
Yeah, but not
that close together. Like they should have.
And not such a memorable.
What are you talking about? They reused footage in Wrath of Khan from the motion picture for crying out loud.
They did.
The Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, but they actually had legitimate budgetary concerns, and there was no other Star Trek on the air at all or anything.
But here's the thing about that too: is that the shots that they reused were things like, okay, the Enterprise is pulling out of space dock and going on its mission. It's going to look the same because it's the same ship leaving the same place.
This is for Ariel. Let's see if Klaus and pickles really are crunchy.
All right, so Alpha Cannon, Chang's Bird of Prey.
What are you doing? Are you drinking pickle juice?
Oh, gross.
Yes,
I love
delicious.
pickles, but that's
you are disgusting.
Rough.
No wonder you didn't like Dune.
Oh, okay.
So yes, the Alpha Cannon, Chang's Bird of Prey has no name.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Here's the test, guys. See if it's crunchy, you'll hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, I won't. Now I got to go get some gherkins out of the.
Okay, stop. You're making me want to puke. Okay, pickles.
I actually got to go get a pickle now. Oh,
I do not like
pickles. Yes.
Man. Yeah.
You know what, Danny? You know what we have? Do you know what we have that you don't have?
You have pickled chips.
We have dill pickle flavored chips.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds good.
All right. So can we stop now, or else I'm going to end the show?
Okay.
Danny's like, I accept your terms.
I'm putting it away.
Okay, what was it? Oh, that was compliance. For a second, it sounded like I was
he's like,
oh,
okay,
no, I'm
stop
gonna-
the show.
Sweet,
Yeah.
I can eat more pickles. Awesome.
No, I want to actually, finish our review.
Yeah, we do need to go. Yeah.
All right, so then I do like, Sulu's like, just a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, the most convenient transportation in all of Trek. Although, what's with the girl next to Sulu? She looks like she's constipated.
I think she missed her mark.
Yeah.
She looks like she's drunk and about to fall over.
Yeah,
that's
Her
why
eyes are
that's
closed.
why-
I'm going to shoot you with my phaser.
Well,
I
either
love
they were
you.
having one of those days where the reshoots were just taking way too long, or she just completely missed her mark, and she decided she needed to lean in or something.
Yeah, because she looks really dumb there. Anyway, so Sulu and the gang arrest Admiral Cartwright, and Kirk gives his final inspiration.
Oh, no, you missed it. Yeah, hold up. They all get up here and pose for no reason.
Look, we've seen them pose like 5 times in
I
this
know.
movie.
It's crazy,
it's
right?
well, it's the last movie they thought.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like look at that. They just,
yeah,
They might as well just bow at this point.
yeah, right.
yeah.
You know.
Oh, by the way, I did get to the spot and I let it just roll with the people standing by the main viewer.
Track reviewer, your mom is disgusting.
They are all actually people because they all waver back and forth a bunch.
Yeah.
If you put it on high speed, they do the tick.
Yeah. And you can look at the comments to see why Trek reviewer's mom is disgusting.
Oh no, I saw.
Look,
Penny said, yeah, okay.
Look, Mom.
All that salt is bad.
Oh, your sister is disgusting as well.
Look, would you?
By the way,
all that salt is bad for you. You're talking to a guy with freaking liver disease. Give me a break.
Hold on. Just wait. Put that comment back up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look at the comment carefully. That emoji makes it look like your sister does something really nasty.
Hey, sis. I don't need to know about that shit, man.
I mean, I'm just saying that you Miss Moneypenny, you should probably refrain from using emojis all the time.
She really loves.
I was going to say, we've grumbled about her abuse of the emojis.
Yes, but this is probably the worst one because this looks like, sis.
Yeah, your mother needs to be educated on why you don't use the eggplant emoji
I need to
ever.
screen cap this and text it to my sister and be like, "So you swallow, eh? Right on." Yeah, I took it.
You absolutely should.
And I guess it is salty too, so I've been told. So
Freak.
cream of Samyang Gai, very salty soup, very salty.
Wouldn't you know from your encounter?
No,
Okay.
no, asshole.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I have a really funny story.
Uh-oh.
And this is a phys ed teacher who taught health class. And this is from high school. So this is a long time ago, of course. And of course this phys ed teacher was awesome anyway, so it's no surprise that she would tell such a funny story. She actually had a girl student one time who had no brain tongue filter stopper slower downer of any kind.
So like Danny.
And they were
I resemble that remark.
and there they were in health class, she said, and they were discussing the chemical and generally obviously biological composition of semen and ejaculate. And the girl completely, in the midst of all this, when the whole thing of there's tons of glucose for energy.
Wow. Is this worth something? Look at what I just found in my. Do you see that?
It's a coin.
No, but look at the. Do you see?
It's an Indian head.
It's an Indian head nickel.
You might want to. Right? You might want to go onto one of those coiny sites and see what the deal is.
It's got a buffalo on this side too.
Cool.
Hey, that's not a buffalo. It's a bison.
Bison, whatever.
It's a beefalo. So anyway.
Ooh, I'm gonna set that.
So glucose. She knew that glucose meant sugar. This girl, totally with the no filter, goes, "So why does it taste so salty?" Right in the middle of class.
Hey,
That's funny.
Does your Indian head nickel have a date on it?
Let me look. 19. God, I hate being old. I can't tell if that's. 1936.
Okay.
Yeah, 1936.
Let's see. Well, a perfect one on eBay has currently got a $2,000 thing on it. However, you can get one on Etsy for $286.
Holy shit! Look, all I need is some Taco Bell hot sauce. I can shine this thing up
and
real
you can,
nice.
And you can buy it from Walmart for $36.07.
Okay.
Yeah, search. I've got like anywhere from like $10 or $20 up into the many hundreds of dollars.
The Littleton Coin Company has one for $5.50.
Well, how do I sell it then?
You'd have to go to a spot that actually gets it.
You could sell it on eBay because look,
Throw it on eBay.
Here's what I would look at eBay.
Yes.
Yeah, because
yes. This do not do that.
Don't shine it.
Do not. Yeah,
Okay.
if you take
you'll strip away some of the silver.
Well, also if you take the patina off, the patina alone can guarantee it's providence.
Yeah. Well, what I would do is look on eBay at various nickels like that, and then just undersell them a little bit. So, like, if 2,000 is the cheapest one, put yours up for 1,000. It's not worth 1,000, but some idiot's going to see it and say it's the cheapest one.
Hell yeah, man!
You know, so
I can't believe I got this.
I'm not going to lie. I've done that with a couple of comic books where it's like, yeah, this comic book is not worth $100, but you know, everybody's
some dumbass will pay for it.
Everybody's listing it for 100, so I listed mine for like 80 and sold it immediately. And the actual value of the comic was like $20.
Well, you know, I could say the most like non-Las Vegas dwelling touristy comment ever and say, why don't you go to like the gold and silver pawn shop?
No, because they only give you like maybe a third or a fourth.
Yeah, I know.
They'll lowball you.
Yeah, I don't need explanation. That's why I said it's.
Chief Cook says he'll sell it for you.
Yeah, you could probably go find like a normal, like not internet famous coin shop, and they'd be able to take a quick look and tell you.
Yeah, we'll find out what the actual value of it is, and then double or triple it and put it on eBay.
Yeah, that's the only thing is watch out for if they're like, oh, well, this is just like, well, I'll give you $5 for it right now, and be like, nope, see ya.
Yeah. Well, if they offer you anything right there for it, then you know it's worth more than what they offer you.
Right.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway, so after everybody does the Vogue for a minute, they go back on the ship, and we get the dumbest line right here. I do not understand this line. First of all, look at that beauty shot.
Oh, no.
That is one of the nicest beauty shots in all of Trek right there.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Again, we've saved.
All right, so listen carefully.
Celsius certainly has one.
Yeah, so listen carefully to Uhura here.
Civilization.
Uhura.
Good news.
Yeah, Uhura.
I said
Will you
it.
shut up?
Uhura.
I can't play the clip if you guys are all talking.
Sorry.
But I can say it now.
Yay! Are you done?
They're not going to prosecute.
Oh, they might as well have prosecuted me.
Oh, yeah, this line.
Thanks for talking over it.
I heard it fine still.
Yeah, but they couldn't hear it because your voice drowned it out.
Okay.
I'd feel like Valeris too.
She said they might as well have prosecuted me. I felt like Lieutenant Valeris. What did Uhura do? Who was trying to get Uhura in this whole freaking movie? Who was trying to get Uhura ever?
She lied to Morris Kike.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how'd you look that up on eBay anyway? What'd you type?
I just searched
Buffalo
for 1936 Indian head nickel.
Indian head nickel. Okay.
Not that complicated, Danny.
1936. Okay.
So then Kirk gives the final captain's log where he says, he finishes it by saying, to go where no person with a penis or person with a vagina has gone before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, they're all over the place. There's one as cheap as $1.58. There's one that's $400. One that's $580.
Yeah.
So there's one at $2,500. They shine that one up though. That one's shiny.
And then we get the signatures that make Danny cry.
No, not anymore. They did when I was a kid, and not cry, just a single tear.
Well, like if you look
And I love the score.
Yeah, but you look at that signature.
No. Danny and the signatures is like guy with the most over exuberant salute ever after the president's speech from Independence Day.
Yeah. But Danny, you look at that signature from Nichelle, and then you think about the fact that she's gone now.
Yeah, actually, that was kind of the rough part. And I pointed this out.
Most of the people that we see,
the list of people alive is super short for this movie, including a lot of people that were younger in the cast even.
But James Doohan, DeForest Kelly, Nichelle,
how can you
Leonard
tell
Nimoy.
the mint location?
Dude, just relax about the coin. We're talking about Star Trek. We can talk about. You can look at the coin later.
There's little identifying marks and stuff that explain.
Take it to go to a coin dealer.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be a few coin dealers around.
Yeah, you're in freaking Vegas.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I need a magnifying glass.
All right,
Anyway, yeah.
Danny, put the coin down.
Put it away. Yep, it's good. Gone.
All right, so we get the signatures, and we think, oh, what a great send off for the original crew.
Yeah, because Nimoy, Kelly, Doohan, Nichols. So we've got Koenig, Cattrall, and Takei.
Yeah, they're doing it backwards with the signatures.
Yeah.
So the last three are DeForest, Nimoy, and Shatner's the very last one.
But Shatner's the only one of those three that's
And
I'm not going to press play. You want me to get a copyright strike?
Oh yeah, the music on this would get nipped so fast.
Well,
because it's Paramount.
So you just played it for a second.
Yeah, for a second, but I'm not going to. Sit play so we can hear the whole thing. No.
Yeah, you'd have to mute it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Larry is watching the Larry Sanders Show, and
basically the whole bloody cast is gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Chief Cook, the problem is you weren't here at the beginning of the show. That is no longer correct. It's to boldly go where no person with a penis or person with a vagina has gone before.
Yes, exactly.
Because we want to be legally correct in Canada.
Canadistan, yeah. But yeah. So Kim Cattrall, obviously Koenig and Takei, Kurtwood Smith, and Michael Dorn, and I think the lady that played Asbetor, the daughter.
Yeah, she's probably still alive.
I think she's still alive, but like everybody else, for the most part, is dead.
Yeah, Christopher Plummer,
Grace Lee Whitney, Brock Peters, David Warner. I think David Warner's passed.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it's really sad, but these are older actors. I mean, it's not like it's a shock that they're dead.
No, but it's one of those things where it's like it sets up just how well. Actually, it also comes across in another way. Right now, we're going through this cycle where people in our age range, yeah. The run of actors and actresses that are showing up in TV shows and movies is so insanely young right now, because all the good ones got all the jobs for so long, and now they're all finally dead or dying. Yeah. And now we're going through this weird transition period where we just going to start saying everybody sucks because they're not the old people.
Yeah. So Planet X, I got to correct you here, because your statement implies that there's only two genders. So you could say
you're instantly not inclusive enough, so you'd be in trouble. We won't let you in the country up here.
Right, so this one would have to be boldly go where no person with genitals of either sex or any gender has gone before. That if you add the word any in there in front of gender, I think you might be legally correct in Canada. All right. And Chief Cook says to boldly go where no starship has gone before. That is probably a more accurate statement. But who cares where the starships have gone? We care about where the people have gone. So I'll give you credit for that is accurate, but I don't think that it's interesting. And what about the people on the starships? You got to include them. Where no member of the LGBTQIA plus community has gone before.
Okay. So I still got to go to the store for her. I got to ship this off, and I have an AA meeting in 2.5 hours. So let's
all right. Scores.
Yes.
And Ben, you can't say where no human has gone before because there are people that legitimately identify as animals. Which is stupid. Don't get me wrong. I think it's stupid. But
today's episode brought to you by the Clown Show at the Supreme Court of Canada.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get put on house arrest.
You know what, Mom? I'll get on those right away if you send me. Look, we'll say 25.
No.
Send me $50 and I'll get to work on it.
Send it to me. We already.
I'm the one doing the work. God, killing me, bro. Killing me. Ding.
Yeah, because you've done so much work lately.
Working on myself, bro. It's important.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
All right. What's your let's give final thoughts and ratings. Let's start with the Canuck.
Totally awesome show. Constantly goes to war in my mind over whether it should be the best movie in the pack, but at a minimum gets a 9 out of 10 for me.
Nice. Yeah.
What about you, Danny?
Oh God. Yeah. So, for the purposes of our show, I will agree with Jason. 9 out of 10 on critic lists. This sucker's getting a 9.8 easy. Because I already gave 90, or a 98%.
It's a 100 scale on critic list. So
yeah. So I gave Khan 100, and I gave another one a 95 already. So this is my second favorite. So I got to put it in at 98%. I love this movie. We had so much fun watching it. It was nice not being the only one, doing the
quoting lines.
Yeah.
Stan, I think this one went into the S+ category.
Yes, this was.
It did. Yeah. And if it didn't, it should have.
Yeah. I don't know. I still need to get all those screenshots from you for the website I'm making, because I'm going to do a written article for that. I think I told you that already, but I do need those images. But yeah, no, I love this movie. It's such a great send off for the original crew of the TOS series, and I am not looking forward to this Saturday when we watch Generations, because it takes a big old poo poo over these first 6 movies. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Star Trek Generations, also known as The End.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I agree. 9 out of 10, solid. To me, the only difference, I don't think this one competes with Star Trek 2 as being the best. Star Trek 2 is the best, but this movie is a very close second. It's a send off. It's very melancholy at the end when you're looking at these names and realizing you're never going to see this cast together again.
Yeah.
But man, what a great, unlike other franchises out there, what an awesome send off to go on one of your best movies. Thank God this movie got made, because Star Trek V was so horrible.
Yeah.
And
if it weren't for the 25th anniversary, this movie would have never been made.
Yeah.
So
I honestly wonder if this hadn't have got made, if Star Trek, at least at the theater, would have had any kind of legs to it.
No, because
Hold up. Look at this. Planet X, your first sentence, perfect. 9 out of 10. Your second one, stop trolling us, bro. Come on.
well, he's just being honest.
Well,
You probably like the Final Frontier because
there are people
you did cry at McCoy's,
When
killing
his
his
dad,
dad.
the dad scene, I didn't cry.
Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Well, if you want to know for sure, guys, go to supportsalty.com.
No, that one we had some technical problems. So that.
Oh,
was,
really?
yeah.
The hell, man? Is it still here on this so I can download it and see if I can, or did it just shit the? Oh no, that wasn't on this. It was on this.
We'll talk about it off.
Okay.
Here.
All right.
But anyway, so I think we can all agree that it was a great movie.
Yes.
But that and yeah, it just is. But tomorrow we have a very special edition. Tomorrow, if you've ever looked at the Support Salty and you see us watch these movies and stuff, and we pause it and talk about it as we watch it. Tomorrow we're going to do that live for you guys. And so,
yeah.
Something we've never done before. We are going
to
actually watch Plan 9 from Outer Space, which 2 of the 3 people on this panel have not seen. And so it'll be Danny and Jason's first time seeing the movie.
On the show that I watched, so this is an Ed Wood movie? Is that what you said?
Yes, this is Ed Wood's masterpiece.
Okay, I've only seen the Johnny Depp biopic.
Yes.
Well, loosely based biopic or whatever.
It's actually surprisingly accurate.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
that's
Ed
crazy.
Ed Wood was a nutter. Ed Wood was absolutely nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He may Tommy Wiseau wishes he was Ed Wood.
Damn, bro, you gave Star Trek 5 heinous?
Of course I did.
Wow. I'm not going to be that mean to it. Wow.
I don't
Jason,
remember-
did you
I don't know,
review
what
it?
did I
You
give?
did.
I
Jason,
haven't yet.
you're slacking, bro. You got to at least review the ones that we do together so you can put the link up,
But what, you don't agree? You think Star Trek 5 was awesome?
No, I'd probably go with the decent. I'll probably give it a 40%. I got to remember, I'll have to go back and,
How could you give it a 40%?
because it's got Star Trek in the title. Remember, I'm pretty sure I
Yeah,
gave it
you did talk about this. You said I can't go any lower than this because it's still Star Trek.
Yeah, I think, I'll go back. Whatever I gave it on our show is what I'll give it. I can't
So
remember. It was either a 4 or a 5. It was one of the two. Yeah.
My official review reads as
think it was a
follows.
5.
Yeah. I think you were going to do 5, Danny, and then you were like, I might say 4 here, but I think I'm still going to do 5 on the site or something like that. Yeah.
I'll go back.
So,
and check it.
Yeah.
Star Trek 2 is a love letter to Star Trek. Star Trek 5 is a love letter to William Shatner from William Shatner. This film is just bad in every respect. Acting, directing, visual effects, everything is subpar.
Except for Scotty. He really sells it. Old Jimmy.
Yeah. And so
I'm gonna give you a thumbs down just to get even with you giving me this.
We're gonna.
I did put under the violence section. I did put comically stupid fight between Kirk and a 3-breasted cat lady
in a water-based pool table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I said some average sci-fi action.
Yeah.
Under family friendly, I said it's not offensive, but kids will likely not enjoy it.
I was but a wee lad when I saw this. I would have been 10. And I remember seeing it in the theater. And my big takeaway was, Uhura's got some thick ass thighs. My God.
I do believe that's an apocryphal statement, but
So the high, man, other people like 65, 62, 49, and 37.
Yeah, see, I'm going to be the third lowest at 50. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5 because I said something about paint drying. So I'll go back and watch. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5.
Well, that movie sucked. I'm sorry. It just, the fact that you can defend it is just horrible. Well, that you tried.
Star Trek.
I mean, no, seriously, what did you like about Star Trek 5?